I'm Yoshi Lomax, superstar attorney at law and fugitive.
So, you're the famous Yoshi Lomax.
Probably more infamous. I'm on the run from the federal government for crimes that I didn't commit.
Gentlemen, I'm Deputy U.S. Marshal Sharon Starr. I'll be taking things from here.
Not to mention being on the hit list of at least 3 of Miami's major crime bosses.
I wanted to apologize in person for leaving so abruptly last night.
Welcome back.
That's Vladimir Kuznetsov, a Russian crime boss. He's been a suspect in over a dozen missing person cases.
I mean, I didn't get here to be this successful for doing things the American way.
I need a list of the jury for my case with Hanju.
Oh, really? What's that worth to you? Oh, my God, you're such a...
Mr. Santana is to be released upon processing.
So what do you know about Sheldon Chisholm?
What do you want to know about him?
I really need to know if you're going to take my case. I don't have time to play, Miss Lomax.
Money is not a problem.
You know anything about his case?
It's being handled by agents in my field office.
I've learned that in this game of life, in order to win,
Ready to dance?
you gotta play dirty. You might look at me and see a beautiful, confident, successful woman.
Congratulations, counselor. Yet another win.
But underneath, I'm flawed. I'm broken. And I'm scared. So I have no choice but to run until I can find a way to clear my name.
Miss Lomax is now considered a fugitive of the United States. Catching fugitives is my business, which makes her my suspect. You and your associates are relieved.
Look. She killed one of our own.
But I will not give up.
All right, people, listen up. Get a picture of Miss Lomax out there so the public knows what she looks like.
I will not give in.
Okay. People, we got a game plan. Let's break and execute.
I will not get caught.
Time to go hunt.
Real talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with DaDirector on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with DaDirector on Dollhouse Radio.
Real talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real talk.
Hi, this is Monique Dupree, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real talk.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And nothing less. What's going on, people? Welcome back to another edition of Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I am the Director. We'll be with you for the next 120 minutes or so. Real Talk is brought to you each and every Monday by Dollhouse Radio and Demorel, and we broadcast live via the World Wide Web. blogtalkradio.com, youtube.com, facebook.com, and Twitter via Periscope. Also brought to you by B2S Media, of course. Yep. Thanks. It's another Monday. Today is I don't know what today is. It's the 14th. Wow. Come on, 2020. Get on. Get on with your bad self. Get on out of here. So it's moving. It's moving. We'll see if we can get out of this. This crazy year. But Tonight we will pick up and finish round 2 of the verses, the actor verses, which is, of course, 2 juggernaut actors, the Denzel Washington versus Tom Hanks. Now, part 1, Tom Hanks, because we had to do 20 films and 20 more films because these guys have massive amount of body of work. So we couldn't sum it. It wouldn't have been right to sum it up in 20 films. That's just bad. But so we took the first 20 and put them head to head. And as of right now, after the first 20 films, Tom Hanks is leading 12-8. That is his score right now. Coming into this next 20, Denzel Washington and Tom Hanks will face off again for the, we'll get the final score. Tom is already in the lead. All he's got to do is, just like if it's a boxing match, man, just gotta win rounds. Just gotta win round for round. You know what I'm saying? Because you're already in the lead. You could get the win. Denzel's got some haymakers coming though. He's got a couple of haymakers coming this time around. So we'll see. See how it goes. Also, a lot of stuff going on in the news, of course. Just saw this come across. The Dark Knight, along with Grease and other films, will be, I believe it's Dark Knight, Grease, The Blues Brothers, Shrek. Okay, and some more films. They're all being selected for the National Registry. So they'll be putting that in, I guess, for like what's it called? Perseverance or whatever it's called. Preserved. You know what I'm saying. National Film Registry. So that's going on there. Let's see, what else? A couple other films. The Joy Luck Club. Sweetback's Badass Song is going on there. A Clockwork Orange. Right? Lilies of the Field. Man with the Golden Arm. Outrage. What else? Anything else that jumps out at me? There's a few more, but those are some that jumped out at me. So cool. Very cool. Oh, the Hurt Locker. Yeah. That's one that jumped out at me as well. Hurt Locker is going on there. So, should be very, very interesting. Very cool. Congratulations to them. And that's one thing. A lot of other stuff going on. I think we might have mentioned last time when we were talking about the WB, and there's still drama unfolding from the WB. Warner Brothers going straight to HBO Max with all their films. Let's not forget that Wonder Woman will be on HBO Max on Christmas. So Wonder Woman 1984, the part 2 to the Wonder Woman storyline. And that will be, of course, starring Gal Gadot. And that will be on Christmas. So if you have HBO Max, enjoy watching that on Christmas. Still got backlash. People, the director for Dune has voiced his disapproval of the move Warner Brothers made. And, well, that's all I can pretty much say. Ain't really nothing they can do about it, but, they voiced their opinion. I just saw something that came across that I thought was interesting. Tenet, and I don't know if this was a marketing move from, it had to be because they can't do nothing without them. I thought that's funny that I saw something about like the first 10 minutes of Tenet you can watch online for free. I thought that was pretty interesting, being that they're doing everything on, putting the stuff on Disney Plus and stuff like that. I mean, Disney Plus on HBO Max. Was I saying Disney Plus all this time? HBO Max. So Ben Affleck's the star in Disney's Harry Houdini movie. Interesting. Very interesting. I'll bring that back up when the council's on. What else we got? Amber Heard, she just wrapped her reshoots for the Snyder Cut. So Zack Snyder, man, she just wrapped her reshoots. Like, Snyder ain't playing, man. Like, they going all out. He is literally putting a new film together. And the funny thing is, the good thing about it is, I don't know if he's gonna have like a co-editor, but he's editing the film as well. So, I mean, it wouldn't be Snyder's cut if he wasn't cutting it. So he's editing the film. So I guess he can just throw his reshoots in and then jump in there, do his editing, and they come behind him. They could come behind him and do the special effects. So that should be very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see what else we got here. Other movie news. Let's see. There was something else I saw in there that was pretty interesting too. Oh, that new Ip Man, the new Ip Man movie looks really interesting. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't watch any of the other Ip Man movies. Of course, I mean, other than the one with Donnie Yen. With Donnie Yen, I mean, to me, he was just so dope. Well, this one looks really good too, though. I'm not sure who's the star of it, and I didn't even really dig into it, but it's worth taking a look at. Looks pretty good. Fantastic Four, of course. They're saying why Marvel is making a Fantastic Four movie before X-Men. Well, I don't even need to read that article to know why they're making a Fantastic Four movie before X-Men. Because, well, probably a number of reasons. But I think my main reason is Kevin Feige already said out of his mouth, he wants you to forget the X-Men. Not forget it, but he wants that far out of your mind because he's not going to be doing anything like what they did with Fox. So being that he's not going to do anything like what they did with Fox, he don't want that fresh in your mind. And a Fox X-Men movie just came out like 2 years ago. So he wants that. Don't expect no X-Men films. And he wants to properly introduce them. So the Fantastic Four, you kind of have to introduce all of them at one time. Whereas X-Men, mutants, you could introduce them one at a time. And then come together and do the X-Men. Because they can just be mutants and not even, at this point, part of the X-Men. So that's, in my opinion, I didn't even read it yet, but that's why I think he's doing it, or they're doing it. And then what else? Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's other stuff going on, of course. There's they're doing the Van Helsing reboot. We mentioned that last week, I believe. They're doing, or it was last week, or maybe the week before when we had Tony Perez on. Was that last week? I don't remember. But yeah, they're doing a Van Helsing reboot, I should say. So we'll see what happens, man. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. So now Judd Apatow has chimed in, and Judd Apatow, who was, the famous comedy film writer, the 40-Year-Old Virgin, all that type of stuff. He's chimed in and said, Judd Apatow slams Warner Brothers for disrespectful Max streaming deal, HBO Max streaming deal. So, he's got what he says what he has to say. I'm not really going to quote what he says. You guys just check it out. So everybody's still chiming in. They're still chiming in on it. So I don't know, man. We'll have to get some insight on it. I mean, I spoke my piece on this already. Honestly. They could have said something earlier? Yeah. But we got a theory on that too. When I bring Kev in, we'll talk about it a little more. So with that being said, thank you for listening. So shout out to everybody in the chat room. Let's just throw that out there real quick. Kita's in the building. I think I saw Jimmy Ace in there. What up? What up, people? No nonsense. Appreciate y'all coming through. Yo, stick around. You're listening, watching Real Talk. I'm the director, in case you didn't know. Brought my Jedi Council with me, and here they are, in case you don't believe it. Ralph and Kev, you're all in the building, man. Welcome back.
What's good?
Evening.
Evening, man.
Hungry.
So we'll jump right into it. So this backlash from the HBO Max stuff is still going. You know, we all talked about Nolan. You know, we know about Nolan. We know about the director of Dune who chimed in. So now Judd Apatow has now chimed in. So there's a lot of people, you know, with some heavyweights, if you will, you know, putting their 2 cents in and, you know, just finding out. And Kev is snoring on him. He's like,
yep, exactly. Exactly.
Kev is snoring on him. He ain't trying to hear it. I mean, you can voice your opinion all you want. There's really nothing you could do about it. All they're going to do, all Warner Brothers is going to have to do is come back around and renegotiate any back-end deals that they had with directors. And really only the big name directors get those anyway. You know, like get any sort of real back-end deals. So
no, the actors get them too.
No, I'm just saying as far as the directors go. I was like,
okay.
You have to be a certain level of director to get those good back-end deals. So, you know.
Well, I had looked into this thing. The very next day, I saw something come up on a website called a movie website. And one of the problems that what I was reading is that Warner Brothers didn't drop that. They dropped the announcement, but they didn't tell anybody as far as directors or talent until about 90 minutes before they made the official announcement. That was the first thing. And it seems that a lot of this is tied into what you just said, back end money. And more so is that Warner Brothers had, if I read this correctly, Warner Brothers already made a deal with Patty Jenkins and the girl playing Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. Right? I think they got like for a $15 million back end. But everybody else on that slate, they haven't said not one word too. They didn't make any deals with them whatsoever. They just asked them out. Like, so there's a lot of hurt feelings, and then it is based into the back end. From what the article was saying is that a lot of times movie actors, they get 2 paychecks. They get, you know, the one for doing a role, but then you get the part that's the back end. You know, that second payment is now theoretically wiped out. So you're not talking about losing a couple dollars. You might be talking about losing tens, hundreds of millions of dollars of money that is now just gone. With no chance of recovery.
They're not personally going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, the back end money, you know, when they do these back end deals, and it'd be great if we could have had Tony on again to talk about stuff like this, because he could have broke it down and, you know, really be more precise. But when they do these back end deals, of course they make good money from it, but they're not going to be making no hundreds of millions of dollars from these back end deals. Yeah, I mean, it's a percentage. Even if it's tens of millions. It's a percentage. It's not as much as you think.
Millions of dollars. There's still.
It's not as much as you think. You know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely, like I said. First of all, you got to be a certain level director to get it. That's number one. Number two, when you do get it, you're only getting it because, like I said, you're a certain level director, or maybe you're doing some sort of producing on the film. So you're deciding to take less money so you can get back in money or whatever. And the actual percentages are way lower than you would think based on director. You know what I mean? because none of these if that was the case, these directors would be retiring off of one really hit film. You know what I'm saying? But they're not, because they're not getting as much as you think they might be getting on the back end. They're getting, I mean, millions is millions. You know what I'm saying?
But
so I don't care if it's $1 million. It could be $1 million. It could be $2 million. It could be $10 million. Right? You know what I'm saying? Normally, a director's fee or salary is like a percentage of the budget. So, like, usually a big name director will be anywhere between 5 and 10% of the budget. So, if the budget is $100 million, 10% of that is going to be, you know, if he's a really big director, will be his fee. He'll probably take less of a percentage up front so he can get back in money and negotiate it, whatever. It's a whole bunch of different things. But I get what you're saying, and I understand that's why they could be mad. But if they're going to go back around, which they're going to have to, because if it's in their contract, they're going to have to honor it somehow. So they're going to have to go back around and just pay them.
But
so shut up. That's the way I look at it.
I think
just shut your mouth, get your money.
But I think that's part of the problem, is that when the contract was negotiated, you didn't foresee this particular action. So even if you, like you just said, well, they could just go back around. Then if that's the case, if I'm just looking at this on paper from what you just said, then you guys shouldn't have did it from Jump Street, because you had a contract. If I have a contract with you to pay you $10 million for the movie, you get one payment on the 1st of June, you get another one on the 1st of August. Something happens, and I can't make it with the payment. I'm contractually obligated to pay you that payment. If something happens, there's got to be some sort of communication.
No, I agree that there should be communication. I agree there should be communication. But I agree. Wait, let me finish my thought. I agree that there should be communication, but the bottom line is no one saw any of this coming, right? And trust me, they won't turn down this money, even if it's less money, if they renegotiate with them. Why? Because guess what? Whatever money that they give you is better than $0, because there's no money being made in the theaters, and there's no indication of when that film is going to be released in the theater.
Exactly.
What's his name? Who just did Tenet? He found out the hard way. He made no way. I mean, I give him credit for making a $300 million in the middle of a pandemic, but that's nowhere near the amount of money that they were counting on making from that film. And now, guess what? Because you're not part of this deal, you're never getting that money back. That money's gone. It's not coming back now. Right. So you put it out in the theaters. You rolled the dice, right? You rolled the dice, and it is what it is. So now, my point is, now what Warner Brothers didn't want to do, and what AT&T didn't want to do, is like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do. We tried it. You know, I'll use your words, the litmus test. We tried it with Tenet. It wasn't. I mean, not that it wasn't good enough. The pandemic is bigger than the movie. So
and let's talk about the part that everybody's really leaving out here, is the fact that the longer that these movies sit on the shelf, it's costing Warner Brothers money for these films to sit on the shelf. Yeah. And also the fact that some of these films, Warner Brothers didn't. It's not like Disney, where Disney pretty much puts up like almost 90% of the money. Right. And there's no other investor.
Remember, in particular, Perez, I'm sorry I cut you off, Kev. I just wanted to bring that up. Right. AJ brought that up last week. He said, you know, it's unlike Disney, who has their own money. Warner Brothers owes money anyway, and as long as these films stay out, interest is being collected.
Accrued on it.
Being accrued.
So it's just like if you're flipping houses, and you pick up 3 houses this week, and you do renovations to the house, and now you did the renovation without permits from the town. Now you got a buyer, but the buyer doesn't want to buy the house because these open permits are on the house, so that's going to cost extra money. So now you're stuck in limbo. So now you either do one or two things. You either go put your house in escrow, and you give the client money on the back end once all the permits and stuff are paid for and stuff. You know, there's money left in escrow so they can get what they need to get, or the buyer walks away, and you're stuck paying a mortgage until you can flip that house. You're responsible
You're
for the
responsible for the
finances for
house.
that house
Yeah.
until you get rid of it. It's the same thing with a movie. When you turn around and get loaned money for a budget, guess what? You're responsible for that money. So if you had an open date and you couldn't make that window, then you have another open date and you couldn't make that window. And see, here's the other thing about it too. These people are whining and complaining, like especially like the guy from Dune. Like I expected, I pushed my movie back. First of all, you didn't push shit back. It ain't your goddamn movie. The only thing you did was direct it. So let's just sit your ass down somewhere. That's first and foremost. All right. Yeah, you might have a little back end deal, blah blah blah, whatever. But you're a director. Stop putting yourself up on a high seat like you're I push my film back. Listen,
You
just
didn't
like Nolan,
you didn't put no money up, brother. And at the end of the day, if you didn't put up no money, your word ain't worth ish. It ain't worth a goddamn at this point. Whoever he who cuts the check is the one who calls the shots, right?
Exactly. And listen, and I understand, okay, yeah, maybe they should have said something to everybody. And even if it's 90 minutes before that they let people know, listen, they let you know. All right. Now what you have to do is relax. Because let's keep it a buck about what everybody's mad about. Everybody's mad because they don't want to wait for I want my film to be seen in a theater. Well, motherfucker, this is what you do. Go rent out a theater for $100. Get all of your people to come out and go watch it at that theater for whatever you get. Rent the theater out for the day and go screen it and feel good about yourself. You're sitting here complaining about you're still getting right. You're still going to get some kind of check off the back end. Plus, you're acting like it's not going to be in theaters at all. There are still movie theaters that are open, even right now with restaurants being closed. There are still theaters that the movie theaters are actually still open. Yeah. So people are still going. Well, it's still going to be released theatrically,
right? And it's going to make money overseas too. It's going to make money
money overseas. So you're going to make a little bit of money here in the U.S. or off of theatrical. You're going to make a little bit of money here off of AT&T and Warner Brothers are going to make money off of subscriptions that get picked up from these movies. And again, they just said it's all going to be released on HBO Max. Now, does that mean, and it's only going to be for a 30-day window. That's the other thing. So for 30 days, your thing is going to be on HBO Max, whatever the subscription price is. And then after that, it may go to video on demand while it's still in the theaters, while it's on HBO Max. And while it's on HBO Max, it's probably going to get released in theaters a week before it hits HBO Max. So you're still going to be making, the film is still going to be making money. Everybody's like, it's a pandemic right now. Things are limited. Things are cut back. Things are changed right now.
You gotta adjust, man. You either adjust or you adjust or you starve. It's that place.
Exactly. Man, everybody's complaining. Oh, you're not. Listen, shut up. Just be quiet and relax. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, this is a time that we're entering to a new phase of business. The business model is changing, and that's the problem, especially with Americans. And I don't hate to say this either. Americans are fucking stupid, and that's right. I'm calling all Americans fucking stupid because a lot of y'all motherfuckers don't like change. Excuse me for cursing, but it's pissing me off now. Y'all don't. Between this election and now these damn directors and people crying, nobody likes change. Everybody wants everything to stay the same. Oh, no, nobody wants things to improve and get better. And, right now, you're so worried about your pocket. What about the people like me who are out here who are spending extra money? Or let's not take me out of the equation. Take somebody who makes less money than me, who doesn't have an entertainment budget. Who loves to go to movies, but now they can't go to the movies because of the pandemic, because they have limited health insurance, so they don't want to take a chance on going out to get sick at a movie theater, or don't have the money to, or they got laid off from work, so now they have to make a choice between paying their light bill and keeping up some of these subscriptions and trying to rent your damn movie.
Yeah. The
business model has changed.
It's changed drastically, and guess what? It ain't changing back, people.
Nope.
It's not going back. Meaning, now if down the line, 2-3 years down the line, film theaters make a comeback, that would be great. I want that to happen because I love going to theaters. I want it to be safe again and everybody be able to go. But the bottom line is this: the business model is changing, and guess what? You know how we know, and they all knew this. This is nothing new. You know how I know they all knew this? Because every one of them are now investing in streaming services. Peacock,
And Disney was the first to do it.
Disney Plus. You got obviously Warner Brothers did the deal with HBO Max. You got Fox, who just sold all 21st Century Fox to Disney. What did the Fox company do? They went and invested in Tubi. They just bought Tubi.
Wes, take it back. Wes, take it back a year. Take it back a year and a half. That's actually take it back 2 years. CBS started streaming for $4.99.
Yep.
A month.
CBS
2 years ago
started doing their own streaming service. Then you know who else? 2019, Viacom said, "You know what? Let's buy Pluto TV," and that's what they did. So now you got Pluto TV that's ran by Viacom. You got Tubi, which is now run by Fox. Now you got Crackle with Sony.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You got them. You got all of the
and
other
that's been around for over 3 years.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, Crackle's been around for 5 years.
Yep.
And then
Crackle's been
Sony
around
bought them
for
2 years
a
after
while.
that.
So now Hulu was really the one that everyone had stake in, but Disney pretty much got more stake in it now. So it's pretty much Disney's. So now all of that stuff, you know, we're not even counting. We already know about the subscription-based ones. We already know about Netflix and, you know, and Amazon. So here's my point is everyone is gearing up for it. Trust me, they're not the last. Universal is going to do something.
I'm not debating any of this. I mean,
no, I know.
I think it's plausible. I think yes, you should have when you do stuff. Yeah, you should have a plan. And was now that a pandemic is happening, whether it was a pandemic or not, but something monumental has caused a shift in your strategy. Yes, you should have a plan. But I just think that the main thing is the lack of communication. And that even if HBO was going to do this, it really sounds like they just made a decision without speaking to anybody. Like maybe you should have said a little something. Say, hey, we got a problem here.
Would it have changed anything though, Ralph? Would it have changed? Like,
no,
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if your parents say to you, you know, if your parents is gonna tell you that you got to do something, or that they about to make you do something, but they tell you first, does it really change that you have to still do it? You know what I'm saying?
And above all of that, the call is not the call didn't come from Warner Brothers. The call came from AT&T. Just so we're all clear. And AT&T is not beholden to talent, directors, or anybody. They own Warner Brothers and everything. They're not beholden to talent and all of that. The bottom line is their bottom line is we bought this so we can go into the streaming business. We bought this company and we tried it with Tenet. It did not work. We're not losing any more money.
Even with that, I don't even see a problem. Right? If you own it, of course you can do what you want. But what I think was to keep, just to be on an up and up level.
Relations, keep up relations.
Right?
I got you.
Maybe if you were going to announce this at Tuesday morning at 9:00, maybe you should have hit everybody up Tuesday, Monday.
Yep.
At 9:00 and say, hey, this is what's going down. Don't spring it on to me 2 minutes before you actually make an announcement to the world. And ain't like you made this in a press conference where no one was going to hear. You made this announcement to the world, and now I'm looking like, well, wait, you didn't even bother to say nothing to me.
No, listen. To be honest, even though, go ahead, Ralph. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That would be the equivalent, right? And I'm saying this because what Heaven Hollywood put this on there about the possibility of a Kim and Foxy Brown versus battle. He said, what would happen before? And I said, Rihanna will show up in my house naked in some 6-inch heels with a bottle of lube and a box of condoms. People start saying, well, let me know when that happened, right? How would that happen And then the next day, Rihanna goes on Wendy Williams and tells the world, "I'm having Ralph Terry's baby," and she ain't bothered to say nothing to me. Like that's.
Would you
how
complain
you tell
about
me on
that
national
though? That's
television?
that's a bad example. You'd complain about that?
Example. That's a real bad example. Like I don't care.
I'd be like, go ahead, baby.
I don't know.
Baby.
But it's not.
Have your way.
It's not.
Have your way.
But I'm saying. I'm saying. It's. No, I mean, no, I wouldn't. But look at your point. The point is that something that kind of monumental. Maybe you should have hit me up before you made an announcement to the world.
No, I get it. And Ralph, let's make no mistake here. I'm not debating you on that. I think that they should have, just for courtesy, for courtesy reasons, whatever the case may be, they should have. But I mean, we don't know the full reason why, but it obviously was a situation. Now we have a theory. We have a theory, which I'm gonna let you explain it. I'm gonna let Kev explain the theory. But with that being said, let's just say Kev's theory is right. Then that's one reason why they made made this move. But they definitely made it. It's desperate times call for desperate measures, and I believe they definitely had a reason to do it like this. But at the end of the day, I get it. They should have said something. Well, they did say something. They just said it last minute. They don't let's not act like they didn't say nothing. They just said it
exactly.
at the last minute.
Did I not tell you? Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't tell you fast enough. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry I didn't tell you fast enough. The bottom line is,
but it's not. But I think it goes back to, yes, it may not have been in the fashion that they wanted to hear it, but guess what? It's not going to change anything. It's just like if my mother tells me, like I said, if my mom tells me,
get
she
your
makes
ass
up
and go wash those dishes.
Right, exactly. she made up her mind that she gonna make me wash the dishes. Guess what? Telling me before I go in the room, I'm on my way into room to go play video games, for her to say, "Oh yeah, by the way, don't get too into those video games because I'm gonna have you wash these dishes." It don't change the fact that I'm gonna wash the dishes.
Exactly.
Now I might say that
whether you know now or whether you know in the middle of your video game, you getting your ass up and washing dishes. Period. Well, especially with Wes's mom.
I might say what your mom would have said to you. I think. Right. Rest in peace. What I would have said, what your mom is saying to you when you were a child is a whole lot different than what she's going to say to you as an adult. You might say, whoa, wait a minute now.
No.
The game is on.
My mother.
Not mine. Exactly. Not mine. Nigga, what did I say do? What did I say do?
Yeah.
You don't want to do it? Do I need to tell your dad? Do I need to get your dad to come in here?
I ain't going to go there because number one, I ain't gonna go there. But I'm just because I get what you're saying, but at the same time, she said, "Yeah, I was gonna come over." I get it. Like I said, I agree with you. They should have, in my opinion, they should have said something a little earlier, but they didn't, and it's not gonna change the fact. So okay, we say it. We tell you a day before instead of 90 minutes before. So what? You got another day to complain,
and they still would have complained.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want it to happen. It's not about that.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, I know you're not. I'm just saying it's not about them not telling them. And what you're saying, I agree with 100%. I believe they should have, for courtesy reasons, told them once they came up with that idea to do it, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, these filmmakers are trying to camouflage it and make it seem like they care about the people's experience. Get out of here with that crap.
You don't give a damn about.
You don't give a damn about the people's
experience. I'm not debating.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there are. I'm not debating that. Telling them a day or a week, whatever. I'm just saying. I just think the way that it came. It's like yesterday's announcement. The city of Cleveland decided. I mean, the ownership of Cleveland Indians decided that we're going to take the Cleveland Indians name and we're not going to call ourselves the Cleveland Indians anymore. It would have been a whole lot different if Major League Baseball would have told the Cleveland Indians, "Oh, you're changing your name," and before we give you the chance to say anything, we're going to go right to ESPN and put it and blast it out. And you're sitting there like, wait, hold. We're doing what? And I don't even know. It's that kind of level. I think that's why so many actors. And But I'm saying
But that's
I
not.
think
I don't.
that the actors can.
But that's where I don't believe. That's where I don't agree with you, Ralph. I don't think that's why the people are reacting the way they are. They're reacting the way they are for one
That's not
reason.
what I was about. That's
Okay,
not what
what
I
was
was
you
about
gonna
to
say?
say.
What was you gonna say?
What I was about to say is that I think the actors, if they would have had a decent amount of heads up, they would have. They would say, okay, listen, we get what's
No, they
going
wouldn't.
on with the pandemic. We understand the position that you're in, and we're in the same position that we're in. Let's try to work somewhere in between so that you can get what you want. We can still get our fair share, and everything will be fine. But like I said, I just think it just came in so raw.
No,
And I think that's I
listen,
think that's what
can
it
we
really.
keep it? Can we keep it a buck? Can we keep it a buck? Not to cut you short, Ralph. Can we keep it a buck? Everybody knows that this is the direction everything going in. Nobody wants to change. That's the
Pandemic
bottom
just
line.
sped it up. The pandemic just sped it up. I've been talking
Disney was
about this. How
already.
long I've been talking about this on this show of where everything was going. I've been saying this. I've been saying this for
I
years.
agree,
Call me. Call me. Y'all need to start calling me Negro Damas. That's what y'all need to start calling. Start calling me Negro Damas.
No.
Because
Nicodamus. Nicodamus.
Nicodamus. That's what y'all need to start calling me because I've been saying this. I'm telling you, it's just that the pandemic sped it up.
But now let me let me interject here for a second. This is what I had said once before, right? When you guys are saying, well, now streaming service and also, I said actors are not, however much you're getting paid now, you're not going to start taking less. You're not.
They're
right?
not going to get
and now
less.
You're
Though,
seeing it. So
Ralph. They're not really going to get less. We already went over that too. They're not going to get less.
Right. They're not going to get less.
You understand Netflix makes $1 billion a month in streaming. Okay? They make up around an average of billions of dollars a month. They got
But what I'm saying is that even though the format is changing, right? Would studios expect actors like this problem here? Because if Warner Bros. Is doing this with their movies, what's to sit there and stop Universal and anybody else from doing the exact same thing and say, well, hey, Warner Brothers
They're already doing the exact same thing. That it ain't nothing changing. They're not doing nothing that hasn't already been done.
Yeah, they're gonna do
Universal.
They're gonna do it. They have to.
Already did it.
If they want to survive,
Disney
Ralph, like I said, you have to adjust or starve. Yeah, you have to adapt.
And that's what happened with the music industry. The music industry is a perfect example of exactly what we're dealing with right now. This is the phase of what we're dealing with right now is what the music industry skipped over and just didn't have happen to them. They just laid back in their greed and in their greed. Let's just keep it a buck. The music industry laid back in their greed and like, oh, we're not going to adjust. That's not going to affect us. They purposely sat back and ignored what was going on. And then it's just like, it's kind of like the rappers when they see the bootleggers on the street. See, when you were a person on the street, you were going to the bootleggers to buy the latest rappers' music.
Yeah.
Unless you're somebody like me who understood, how the money worked, so you knew to go to somebody reputable to pick up that. Unless it was a mixtape, you went and bought the legal copy, so that way the artist got their money. But when you was on the street and you was only making $5.85 an hour at McDonald's, you was going to the bootlegger to pick up your stuff. Now you got a deal with Universal. Now all of a sudden you give a damn. Now you on the street trying to take all your CDs away from the bootleggers, and the bootleggers like, hold on, what you doing? We trying to eat like you eat. What you doing? Now all of a sudden you concerned. See, right now what the industry is realizing that listen, there's going to be a dramatic shift, and they already saw this coming years ago. Yeah. It's just some of these companies, like specifically Disney, that has their own money, and obviously because they're a publicly traded company, they have that money behind them as well. Because they have their own money, they're realizing like, hey, look, Amazon and Netflix, especially with Amazon and Netflix, is they're going bye-bye. They got us. Netflix already had y'all in the dust. Netflix already put Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, and every mom and pop video store in the country or on the planet has been put out of business because of Netflix. Mm-hmm. That business model put them all. But
Now, if you
But
said
it's a
Red
fact
Box,
because even when Hollywood Video, even when Hollywood
if
Video.
you said
Wait,
Red
what'd
Box,
you
I'd
say,
be like,
Ralph?
yeah.
No, not Redbox.
If you said
Not
Netflix.
Redbox.
Netflix, if you would say if you had said that and you said Redbox, I would have been quicker with the Redbox over Netflix because
No way.
at the time when
No, 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 no.
Netflix was
Netflix. No, Netflix didn't have nothing. Netflix.
No, he's
Redbox.
saying that he would
Red.
believe it's more believable that that Redbox put these things out of business than
than
Netflix. But
Netflix.
Redbox came even after Netflix. And
Netflix.
remember,
That's what I was
let's
going to
not
say.
forget
Yeah.
Netflix. Let's not forget, quick history lesson, people. Not for you guys, for the listeners. Netflix tried to partner with Blockbuster Video. They walked up in the Blockbuster Video and asked and told them about their vision of sending DVDs to people's house and eventually streaming. Blockbuster laughed them out the building. Now look at Blockbuster. Okay, so Netflix is the one that actually, even before Redbox, Netflix is the one that put, because Netflix, even Redbox, you got to leave your house to go to Redbox and get your DVD.
And listen, I remember, and listen, and let me tell you something. And I'm gonna tell you something about Redbox. I remember when those commercials were coming on at 2, 3, and 4 a.m. in the morning when they was doing the advertisement for people to invest in Redbox and that other one, that other DVD service that they was putting out there. So that they were coming in, they came in with that business model right around the time that the transition was happening when Blockbuster tried to wake up and be like, oh, wait a minute, there is a dramatic shift going on. That's the reason why Redbox and that other company is still around, because their business model works. You got people that are going to the store. Oh, well, while I'm at 7-Eleven, and see, they were smart. They got they put their machines inside of supermarkets and 7-Elevens. Where's the main place that everybody goes? You put your boxes where the foot traffic is.
The people who own Redbox, at least at first, I don't know if they got acquired, but it was the same people that put those Coinstar machines in the they're the same company that had the Coinstar machines in the supermarkets where you put the coins in and get the money out. You know what I mean? So they had those. It was those same people. So they had the idea of, hey, same thing. This is the same. We're playing to the same audience, but now we're putting movies and DVDs in there or whatever. And yes, Redbox is a great idea, but the fact of the matter is Netflix is the one that put everybody out of business, because Netflix was sending their stuff to your house. You would live, and you didn't have what was the biggest thing about Blockbuster? We all know
late fees.
Late return fees.
Rewind fees.
And rewind fees, and sitting back there waiting like a fiend for a movie to come back because it hasn't come back yet, and whatever. But you know what? The model that Netflix had was like, yo, no more waiting in line for a movie. I remember one time I was at Blockbuster and I literally was waiting on the line, and the movie that I wanted had came back and went back out before I even got to the counter. I was pissed.
Because
pissed.
of smart people like me who called in ahead of time and had my name on a list. When that movie comes in, it's mine. Nobody else gets it. And if you're a regular,
that depends. Yeah, if you're a regular, it all depends on the person, luck of the draw. See, now I lived the Blockbuster up the street from me. There was a bunch of jerks that worked there, and they didn't believe in all of that. They was like, well, if you get here, you get here. And I'm like, I'm literally up the street. I'm literally up the street, man. Just hold that for me. Nah, we don't hold films. And they stopped doing it because a lot of people were asking to do it. They're like, we don't hold movies. It gets here. If you get here, you can have it. If not, it's gone. So that's if you luck of the draw and you get.
I told you my second.
Huh?
I told you my second job. I used to work in the video store. I worked in the video store for like 5 years, and every day, you're right. Now you guys are right. We did have quote unquote our core customers who, new release day, we might put aside a copy for you, but then we had the movies that came back, and if someone was the one said, hey, I got this copy. I remember the year 88 was the worst. January was the worst year. In that month of January, we had RoboCop, Platoon, Adventures in Babysitting. It was like 9 big Predator. It was like 9 big movies, and people don't believe this, but back in the 80s, VHS tapes for video stores cost you about $80 a piece. That's how much they cost. It took forever to make your money back.
Because that's how much you got charged if you never returned the film. If you never returned, I was one of those cats. I remember one time, I don't know what happened, bro, because we had so many VHS tapes, and so I don't remember. I think it was When a Stranger Calls. That's what the movie was. When a Stranger Calls. We never returned it, not even on purpose. It just got mixed up with our tapes, and we never returned it. I swear, we got a bill from Blockbuster for like about the same thing, about $70-something bucks or something like that for it. We was like, "Yo, what is this for?" "Oh, you never returned When a Stranger Calls." I'm like, "Oh, damn."
It's like when you go to the club and you want to buy out the bar, so you want a regular bottle of Absolute, or let's go with my favorite Soraka Belvedere, which will cost you, for a nice sized bottle, which will cost you between $60 and $80, for that bottle at the liquor store. You're gonna pay $240 at the club. What's
the
wrong with
club
you?
was like $500. Like what?
Exactly.
Like what you
know what I'm saying?
Like, are you serious? They mark it up like 200% markup.
Yeah,
but it's just crazy, and it's funny how people still buy them. But it's just because they want to. They want to look like ballers, so they pay triple the price for it.
Dummies.
So, but
and
anyway,
then the club will make you feel good, so they have the girl with the skimpy outfit bring you out, and it's got sparklers coming out.
Sparklers on
like,
it.
oh my
so
god!
You just paid an extra $400
for the 4th of July on a Thursday in November
for some sparklers.
Thursday night.
Yeah, no, but like I said, back to the whole subject at hand with all of that. So they, Judd Apatow made his statements, or whatever, his comments. Like I said, once again, everyone's going to complain, and I get it. And to be honest with you, that's why I believe you're not going to really hear much pushback from WB side. All the CEO said was, yeah, that was very, that was kind of painful or hurtful or something like that. He said he used the word like that. Yeah, it was hurtful, to hear those comments. But you're not going to hear much pushback from them because, y'all can go ahead and complain, whatever. And that's all they can do is complain. But at the end of the day...
Because did anybody say that they weren't going to get paid? Did anybody say we weren't going to work anything out? The only thing they said was, we're going to release our movies directly to a streaming service that we're trying to get up off the ground. That's gonna open up more. Here's the other side of it that people are not paying attention to. If they don't feel that your film is worthy to go directly to the theater, you know what? We think your film would do better on we think your film, and Grace used to say this and it used to annoy the hell out of me. But you know what? As being an avid movie watcher between theater and on television, that it is a true point that some movies resonate better on TV when you're laying in your bed than they do in a theater. There are some things that just resonate better. So this is more opportunity for you to be able to have your vision or your film or something that somebody invested money into to still be seen, and sometimes by a wider audience. Because guess what? Some people would rather pay the $15 a month for the HBO Max and wait for stuff to come because eventually it is going to come to the theater, especially with the way Warner Brothers did their thing with the 15-day movie window. Like that business model is still something that's probably going to work, to where it's going to transition over to HBO Max, Disney Plus, blah blah, whatever. So with that being said, it's like that's another platform, that's another way for films to be seen and be made. Listen, would we all like to have our work shown in a theater with a sold out house? Yes. The reality is it's not always going to happen, pandemic or no pandemic. There's some movies that are just going to flop. As we all know, there are sleeper movies that they either get caught up in the sauce of release dates or whatever the case may be. But the one thing, including us three, what's the one thing you do? Oh, you're scrolling through movies and you remember, I remember Ralph was talking about this one right here. you know what? Let me add that to my list.
Yeah.
Your movie is going to get seen eventually. Your show is going to get seen eventually.
Well, yeah,
because
it's going to be seen. Yeah, go ahead.
Because people are going to do whatever, go see it or whatever. And just on a closing point for me, the other side to that of what people got to realize is that, and this is my opinion. I'm not saying that this happened. Yes, I am. Fuck it. I'm going to say it. It happened. I'm just going to call it what it is. I honestly believe that Warner Brothers or somebody at AT&T got wind of what Disney Plus was doing, and they had already been planning on doing this in the winds behind the scenes when they did the Wonder Woman release, when they called that. And somebody must have said, you know what? Disney's doing Star Wars. They're doing all these Marvel films. They're doing all this other stuff. And the other thing people are forgetting is Disney has Fox and Touchstone and all that other stuff over there. They got stuff that you don't even hear about, because because some of that stuff is strictly for investors. So some of that stuff just gets blocked out of those investor meetings, and you don't even get to hear that unless you're like a $1 trillion investor. Then you get to hear about the really good stuff that they're doing. So to me, it's a smart move on one of the brothers' part to jump ahead of the horse and be like, you know what, we're releasing everything in 2021 directly to HBO Max.
Yeah, because
it doesn't put no pressure on Disney.
Just to back that up, Kev, as you know, people may or may not know, Disney just had their investor meeting on the 10th, and in that investor meeting, they revealed a lot of moves where they're going to be putting stuff on the streaming service. So there's going to be a lot of things in the pipeline. Some things, of course, let's not make no mistake, people. As long as the theaters are still available, no one is cutting out the theaters. They're just making sure they're covering their ass. They're not going to just put it in the theaters and lose all this money like what Tenet did. Tenet was expected to make $1 billion. Period.
Yep.
There's nothing more, nothing less. It was expected to make $1 billion. It would have. All it did was really make back its budget. It really didn't get nowhere near where it was supposed to be, and we understand why. It would have possibly made it if nothing was no pandemic. But we can't speak. We have to stop thinking. If you're a business, you have to stop thinking what if or when the pandemic
Say
goes
that again,
away.
please.
Say
that again, please. They didn't hear you in the cheap seats.
Right. You have to start thinking or stop thinking, well, when the pandemic is over, I'll give you an example. I use myself as an example. I'm a filmmaker, obviously. I do, but the thing is this. What did I start doing? I started adjusting. So now I haven't been doing any shoots, and there's still plenty of independent shoots going on. I haven't done any shoots, but what have I done to make up some money? I've done editing. I switched my major in my master's to creative writing. Why? Because I'm looking ahead. I'm not going to do cinematography. You know why? Because I can hire a cinematographer, right? But guess what? If this pandemic don't get any better, we ain't gonna need no goddamn cinematographer, or there's gonna be very few. They're gonna start going with the people that they know already, the people that they rely on and that they've worked with before. But if you're a writer, you can do that anywhere at any time. So I may write a script and sell it. That's why I switched my major to creative writing, because I write already anyway. So I'm like, let me switch it to creative writing. I'm planning for it. I'm doing editing. I'm beefing up my editing game. I done learned all, I already knew, Final Cut. I already knew Adobe Premiere. Now I learned DaVinci. I learned DaVinci Resolve now. I'm learning all the different, and I'm completely putting everything up. I'm going out and buying musical instruments again, because now I'm beefing up my post-production music side of things. I'm not playing, man. I'm planning for this thing to be around for a while. So I'm not going to be sitting holding the bag like, I got a degree in filmmaking, but I can't make any films. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why? Because
and you know what?
The this freaking pandemic is going. Nah, man, I'm not gonna. That's excuses. So the point is, I think that what Kev's theory, I believe that theory. I believe someone heard, and let's be honest, when it comes to Marvel DC always is getting the short hand of the stick, the short end of the stick. Marvel's always one up and always one up in DC. As a matter of fact, Marvel did it even with the free. They're even gonna do it with the multiverse, even though DC was doing it in their TV series, but they never brought it to the movies. Now,
the cinematic, right?
Yeah. Now Marvel is gonna beat them to that, and they made up the multiverse theories. DC made that up. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but of course, they can't claim that, but you know what I mean. The point is,
and here's proof. Here's proof positive of what we're saying, of how the shift is happening. Disney, the day after the investor meeting, or I want to say at that same day, it was either that same day or the next day, Disney stock went up a record high. It went up from $84 to either $184 or $284 a share. I believe it was $180 something a share or something like that. Mm-hmm. The stock went up, it doubled, and it went up to the highest the stock has ever went to after that investor meeting. Mm-hmm. You honestly think that Warner Brothers wasn't nervous about that? And even if they didn't know, they knew something was coming. They knew something was happening. And you got the success of The Mandalorian. You got the success of the Marvel films. And on top of the fact that Marvel starved us and starved the movie industry with not having any content out there, any new content. So what do you think is going to happen? Warner Brothers is like, Jesus Christ, we need to do something.
We talked on the show before the show before we had Perez on. I have mentioned. Remember, we talked about it, Ralph. We were saying that with all of the pushbacks of the release dates, if Marvel's release dates actually come out on time and they don't push it back again, we were going to have a Marvel film every month of 2021. Mm-hmm. We will have a Marvel film at least one Marvel film every month, possibly a couple in a month through the whole year, right? Now, if you're AT&T, the competition, you are DC, the competition, you looking at that and saying the possibilities behind that, and you're like, oh my God, we got to do something. We got to do something. We got to do something. And they had to take the headlines, man. They had to get the headlines because right now, what happened? The 10th just happened, and now all of the headlines is back on Disney's side, right? They're like, no, we're going to take the headlines first. Let's get a jump on the headlines. Not only is Wonder Woman going to be out on the 25th, that was a headline for them, but the fact that they're releasing the whole slate, I believe that if that wasn't the deciding factor, it had something to do with it because, they got to, like we said, we have to adjust, man. You have to adjust, evolve, or die or starve. It's just that plain and simple. But I know you're not debating. I'm just saying. I'm just saying to put perspective to it, and I agree with you. They could have did it a little classier. You know what I'm saying? But it wouldn't have changed nothing. It wouldn't.
Desperation makes people do desperate things.
Yeah. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and that's what it was. Because the actors. And I just want to get before we get to this, we're gonna get to our the battle. Before we get to that, I just want to say, I want to bring it back to what you said about damn it, I don't want to lose my train of thought. Shit, I think I lost it. Oh man. I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose it. Shit, I lost it. Yeah. I have to come back to when I remember it now because I lost my train of thought. But I did want to say when Kev said about films, sleeper films. Speaking of sleeper films, just wanted to throw this out there. The film Orphan is getting a prequel film. The film Orphan. If people don't remember that was about maybe 2010, 2009. Orphan was about with the little girl who had the condition. She was actually an adult, but she looked like a little girl or whatever. It's a horror film. That film is getting a prequel. Actually, a very sleeper film, in my opinion. I thought that film was very well done. It kind of, I don't know if it flew under the radar. I don't know when it came out, exactly what it came out against. It kind of flew under the radar, in my opinion. I didn't think it got the credit it should have gotten, but they're getting a prequel film. They're bringing back the actress from the film, the young actress. Well, now she's older, obviously, I guess, unless she really has that condition and looks younger. But the actress name was Isabel Furman, and she's coming back for the film, for the prequel film. They actually have some set photos, a set photo that she took, I guess. So they're actually shooting it. It's not just coming back. She is back. They're actually shooting. There's a set photo of her there. Face all bloody and marked up. So a little iPhone there. You know what I'm saying? Apple need to cut a check. So no, I'm joking. But they probably gave it to her for free. Yeah, use this. But before we go into the battle, I'm just going through the chat room. Shout out to the chat room, of course. Y'all are very active, and I'm loving it. You got a lot of good things that you're saying. I've been popping things up on the screen, as you guys were, as we're going along. A lot of good stuff that they were saying there. Let's see if we had. He said great points. That was Jimmy H. He said great points. Could definitely believe that. Discussions like this, great points, fellas. Cool. We appreciate y'all. Your interactive, being interactive and your interaction, I should say. We appreciate it. Keep it going. And they always laughing at us with making our points. But it is what it is, man. This stuff deserves the type of attention we give it, because we're going, at the end of the day, I don't really, this is not a big disagreement moment. I don't really disagree with you that much, Ralph. There's a couple things I disagree with you on your points, but I agree with you. They should have did it classier. They should have did it a little classier. But it's desperate times, man.
Because even as I'm sitting here you've been talking, I've been looking at stuff, and not only do I see that the poor rich people, Nolan and all them, I'm also seeing that the president of the CAA has a gripe against them. Some company called Endeavor that also is in the act. It's like everybody has a gripe against Warner Brothers.
Everyone who stands to make money. Everyone who stands to make money from the film. Right. Of course, they're going to. CAA is a union, right? Not a union. They're an agency. They're agency.
Yeah.
They're agency.
They're an agency, and see that's the thing. See, and that's the other thing. And now that's the thing that I'm kind of happy about with this. Let their money get affected, because you know what? They're screwing actors and people out of their money anyway with these backroom deals and stuff that they're doing anyway. Yeah. So you know what?
So it's kind of good for them, because it's kind of good that happened with them, because they're too busy. They're doing like what's the equivalent to 360 deals in the music industry. They're doing all these different deals where they're making money off these actors.
Exactly.
All different types of ways when you shouldn't even be making money. They're making money. They doing deals. They're signing actors to deals where they make money off of them, even if the actor booked the film their own.
Don't make any money.
Yeah, or even they don't.
And actors not seeing none of that money. The actors not seeing any of that money. They're not giving the actors a cut. These agents are going out specifically, and you want to really talk about specifically where it really is. It's really with the writers. And with television and with the rights going back and forth for streaming rights and all of that stuff.
Yeah. So that's where everyone stands to lose, and they're not. And let's not put a false narrative out there. No one is losing money. Not going to lose all their money. They just don't stand to make that extra money that they were making, that they probably shouldn't have been making anyway.
In the first place. And here's the main thing. And here's the main thing that they all keep complaining about. One of the biggest things a lot of them keep complaining about, what is Warner Brothers doing? You notice nobody said that to Disney when Disney did it. They're only saying it to Warner Brothers. What are they doing? You're changing the way we're doing business. You're changing. Basically, they're getting mad because now you're being circumvented. Yeah, you ain't gonna go to Disney and get in their face talk about, well, look, what you're doing is wrong, and you're just messing up how we do things. No, what they're gonna do is they're gonna go back to the studio standards like Warner Brothers and Universal and people like that, and they're gonna complain to them because they know if they go to Disney, they're gonna get kicked in their mouth. Like, listen, we make our own money. Fuck out of here. What you doing?
Well, I don't know about that. I think that actors have a little more faith in Disney than most of the other companies. I mean, I don't even work for Warner Brothers, but I don't have any confidence in Warner Brothers at all because you have such a tremendous history of screwing stuff up. And I'm gonna cut Warner Brothers a break. I think for the first time on this show, I'm gonna cut Warner Brothers a break. Maybe, just maybe, when you come up with these decisions, you really do have the best of intentions. Maybe you really legitimately do. Maybe you really try to look at the bigger picture, but somehow in all the greatness, your decisions are dumb. Right this second on December 14th, I'm not going to sit here and say that releasing your entire slate to HBO Max first is a smart move, and I'm not going to sit here and say it's a dumb move. It's going to be, we have to see, a wait and see thing.
But what is there to wait and see? I mean, what do you think there's to wait and see? The fact remains, Ralph. Do you really think? Do you really think this pandemic is people gonna be back in the theaters anytime?
I think for me, that is the issue. Is that I have already said that I think that some of the studios are already looking to not release movies in theaters anymore. And I think that this kind of deal where you're saying we're going to put the movies onto our streaming service first before we put it out, or at the same time.
No, that's not what they're saying. That's not, Ralph. That's a false narrative. That's not what they're saying. That's not what they're saying.
That's not what I said. What I said was, if you are sitting there saying, well, what we're going to do, we're going to put our movies into the theaters either before onto our streaming service before the theaters or at the same time.
No, it's only one, Ralph. It's not both. It's only one. They're putting the movies and it's only in the U.S. They're putting the movies on HBO Max and still releasing them in theaters at the same time.
Once again,
for a 30-day window.
30 days. So then it stays in the theater.
Once again, I keep saying. Then I say this, but I get that, and like I said, or not and or. I'm leaving it open. Warner Brothers make a decision like which way they want to go. What I'm saying is like if you give the public the option, say, well, hey, I can have this come to my home. I don't have to go to the theater, right? Then let's say Wonder Woman comes out next week and it does great onto HBO Max. Then you put it into theaters and nobody really went to go see it in the theaters because it was already on television and they were at home. Then what's the purpose to continue trying to take another movie and doing the same thing? Because now I would think that you can start seeing the pattern that this is the way to go. We could forego putting into the movies and splitting the revenue with AMC or whoever. Just put it on HBO Max, keep more of the profits, and it helps the consumer out. Because now the consumer doesn't have to truck out in the snow. I got Kevin, as you constantly say, I got 5 kids, I got these kids, I got to pay babysitter, I got to pay food, all the stuff. Now you've eliminated all those charges. Now, from the actor's point of view, what I think they're saying is that, well, if that's what you want to do, I'm signing this contract with you because I'm expected to be. You already have a pre-termination of what you think the movie's going to gross. I'm signing my deal with you because I'm expected to get this amount of money on the back end from the theatrical release. If you're not going to put it into the theaters, then that money that I was expected to get, I'm no longer entitled. I'm no longer going to get.
No, they still have to.
Yes, you are going to get. What are you talking about?
They got to honor it. It's a contract. They have to honor it.
But how can they honor it if you don't put
because
the movie in the
Ralph,
theater, right?
I'm glad you brought this back up, Ralph, because now you brought my train of thought back. So I'm glad you brought it out. That's what I wanted to address. What you say, you have this notion that these actors. All right, go ahead.
Let me finish it first. What I just said is that you said, well, they're contractually obligated to pay you that back in money. My question is, if you don't release a movie into the theaters, right, then it doesn't generate anything from a theatrical release. You only generate money from a going to HBO Max, which goes to HBO Max or Warner Brothers or AT&T, however you want to describe
it's not just no. See, that's where you got it wrong. You're not paying attention to the whole thing. It's being released in theaters and on HBO Max simultaneously. Actually, what's happening? Let's just take Wonder Woman 1984. Let's just say you're not listening, though, Ralph. Let's take Wonder Woman 1984 for example. Speaking on exactly what you're saying. The Wonder Woman 1984 is being released in theaters and on HBO Max. Wonder Woman 1984 is being released this week on December 17th, a week ahead of when it's going to be released on HBO Max in theaters. It's going to be released in theaters on the 17th, overseas in theaters, and then next week it's going to be released on HBO Max and in theaters in the US.
And they cut a deal with Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot for the HBO Max deal. So they're going to have to go back and kind of level out. There's no way to calculate exactly how much they would have made on the back end. So they're going to have to get into the negotiations with them, meet them in the middle, and cut them a check.
And they already did. They already cut them a check.
No. They only cut it. They only cut it like what you just said. They only cut a check with Patty Jenkins and Gasol. Are there not other people that play a major role in the movie? They did.
That's not getting back in money. No, ain't nobody else getting back in money. Out of that, it would be Gal Gadot. No, it would be Gal. No, he's not the star of the movie. It would be Gal Gadot. It would be Patty Jenkins. If it was anyone else, they would have cut them in the deal. They're not. No one's looking to screw nobody out of their money, Ralph. And what I wanted to bring up was you have this notion that these actors are not going to get paid the same amount of money from streaming services that they would if it was in a theatrical release. That is
it doesn't matter.
False.
Money is money.
That is false. That is false. Like I said before, Netflix has almost 200. They have 195 million subscribers. Times that by $14, whatever you pay a month. That is over $2 billion a month that Netflix makes. They got the money to pay the actors. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The actors are not going to have to be forced to take less money because if they really want them in the film, they're going to pay them. And I proved that to you the first time you brought that up. I brought up a whole list. Every actor in 2020 was from a net, almost except for The Rock, was from a Netflix deal. But the highest paid actors.
Wes, here's the one little hiccup which I don't disagree with. You keep saying Netflix. We are not talking about Netflix. We are talking about.
It doesn't matter who it is. It's the same concept.
Okay, so Netflix has 100 because they had a head start. Disney has now passed. They're closing in on 100 million subscribers already.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying for a second. We're not talking about Netflix. I got 100% faith in Netflix. I don't have that kind of faith in Warner Bros. Because they have done.
Your faith don't mean nothing, man, compared to what they're doing. Your faith in what they're actually doing, they don't have, and it's not to knock your faith, but it don't have nothing to do with the fact that they're starting a streaming service. They're doing the same business model as Netflix and Disney. They're building up their subscriber base, so it's not going to change. There's still, like I said, right now, the movie Wonder Woman 1984 hasn't made no money.
Right. Let's Patty Jenkins with facts, Kev. Not to cut you off. Go ahead. Do you finish your thought that I'm going to say? I'm just saying. HBO Max is at 57 million subscribers already. That 57 million subscribers. They're already halfway to 100 million subscribers. Times that by the
$15.
$15.
Listen. I'm gonna say this once again.
But you say Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is HBO Max now.
I am not debating this particular issue. What I'm sitting here saying, Warner Brothers traditionally has a history of messing things up. Well, and a lot of times because I think they have a plan, and like I just said 20 minutes ago, I can't sit here and say that them releasing what they have to do was a good thing. And I ain't gonna sit here and say it's a bad thing. I'm sitting saying it's I don't know. We have to wait and see if that's the way to go.
But all right, so right now HBO Max is at 57 million subscribers.
And,
by 2021, if they double this number, guess what, Ralph? It was a smart move because they made that extra money. If they double this number in 2021, that means that it was a smart move because that's
a smart move, right? So is that or is that not when I just said that it's a wait and see kind of thing? Because
I said you gotta wait and see. You gotta wait and see. But like I said,
to that point that you just said about the viewer, the subscriber, I just found out last week, right, that anybody that has HBO, if you have HBO on a cable system, you already have HBO Max. So that 57.5 million that you said, I'm gonna say a nice percentage of that people that already have HBO but don't even know they got HBO Max. You're already signed up to it. I didn't know that until last week.
Yeah. Well,
I've been telling y'all that. How do you didn't know that since last week? I've been telling y'all that. I've been telling y'all that since April.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the people that haven't, but I mean, the bottom line is still in all, whether it's the 57 million. The point is they're going to gain subscribers. That's the whole point of doing this, to gain subscribers. Why you think Disney doing what they were doing? They need.
Okay, Ralph, and here you go. I'm sorry, Wes, not to cut you off. Here you go, Ralph, and here's to prove the point of that they're gonna still get more subscribers. I was paying for my HBO through Amazon. My HBO account was $11 or whatever it was a month for my HBO through Amazon. Guess what? I wasn't when HBO Max started back in the summertime, which I think it was either late May or early June. Whenever it started, I picked it up as soon as it started. I had to buy HBO Max separately, and I couldn't watch it because it wasn't because they still hadn't worked out their deal with Amazon. So I wasn't getting it automatically. So I was still paying for my regular HBO, and then I was paying the $15 on top of that to see my HBO Max that I couldn't even watch. Well, I could have watched it, but I would have to stream it through my phone and cast it onto my TV or watch it directly on the internet.
Right.
So you have people out there that were like me that were paying for both.
I'm not trying to do it.
Right.
I'm not trying to do all that stuff. All that stuff that you just said sound complicated as hell. You know, and like I keep saying,
it can always change too, Ralph. You know, it can always change. Netflix is raising their Netflix raising their price in 2021. I'm sure they can always change too.
I'm sure, and as I said, I'm not debating any of this stuff. You're right. If HBO Max increases subscribers, which I think they probably will, that's a great thing. But the bigger question is not simply just increasing. You guys keep saying increasing and maintaining. If you jump to 57, 59 million, that's the thing. It's to maintain it. Right.
Why won't they maintain it? That's why you get new content. That's the whole purpose of the maintaining part. The maintaining part is the reason why they're releasing 17 movies directly to HBO Max next year. It's so that they can maintain their subscribership.
That's I mean, it's the same. The business model is changed, like we said, but it's the same business model for everybody. They're all doing it. They're all following the blueprint of what Netflix did.
Right, but I'm saying that particular question, that's the business model for anything, whether you're in movies, music, retail, whatever. Is that yes, get more people, but maintain that. Right. Yeah. We live in
again
now.
The reason how they're maintaining it is content.
Let me
content is how you maintain it. Because let's. I'm sorry, Ralph. Go ahead.
Even with the content, okay. What I'm saying is that, and I'm not an optimist, I'm just looking at realistically. The American public, as you said like an hour ago, they're stupid, but the one thing that they're also very fickle. It's about what you got today. You have much more to see and many more options than you've ever had before, right? So
including on the streaming services, you have a lot of options.
Kev, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, when I say like to increase the business model should be to increase your followership and maintain it. You also have to do that.
And that's how you
looking at the competition from everybody else, right? And is this? All of us have had cable for some point in time. Did you ever have a show that was, let's say, on HBO that everybody thought was so hot? until Showtime put something on. And next thing you know, that particular show that was hot started to cool off because now you had this new thing that came along. So hell, we can go to a bunch of different TV shows and historically that for some point in time was the hottest thing on television and now had just cooled off.
But you're not saying nothing that's not gonna that's going to happen. The whole purpose of what this is why you got with HBO Max. Why HBO Max has the Chappelle Show, why they put the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air back on, why they added a whole bunch of extra content, not just for nostalgia, but it's to keep people entertained. The whole purpose of this purpose of this business model is to not only get you to subscribe once, it's to keep you subscribed. Because what people do is the smart thing that people do is people get their subscription. Let's just say like with HBO. Let's say before all of this happened, when HBO started doing subscriptions like CBS and everybody else, when HBO started doing the streaming subscriptions, you know what people were doing? People doing just like with Power. People were getting Stars. People were getting HBO. They were waiting for the episodes to build up enough to where they can get it and only hold on to it long enough to either binge it or long enough to where they only had to half binge and watch 6 episodes and then cancel it until the season starts back up. You know what 50 Cent told people? 50 Cent told people when Power is over, drop your subscription.
Yeah.
And you know what people did? They followed exactly what he said.
Yeah, they did drop the ship. So they have to come up with something to combat that stuff, because you will have people that do that. Because, you know, at this point, it's like this. You know, cable is just robbery. Cable's highway robbery. Yeah, so people are now trying to find ways to save money but still be entertained, right?
And I've been doing it for the last 8 years.
Right.
I've been streaming.
You do streaming, you do this, you do that, right? So the point being, like I said, the business model is pretty much the blueprint is the same. It's just they're all starting to follow it, have to gain their subscriber base. And trust me, that's the whole point of trying to gain as many subscribers as possible, because you have to the law averages is going to say that you're going to lose some of those subscribers. So you have to make sure you overcompensate for it. So a move like this is going to overcompensate for. So if a move like this, releasing all their movies straight to streaming, that is going to probably more, if not triple, their subscriber base. And after that whole thing goes down, they may lose, you know, a little bit of it. They may lose a quarter of it. Who knows? I'm just saying they may lose some of it.
But they'll pick it up with series content.
They'll pick it up with series content, and that's what it is. So Netflix has been doing it. Now Netflix, that was Netflix model before. Now
Disney
Netflix
Plus is doing it.
Right. Now Netflix model is get as much original content as possible. So we can stop paying these licenses fees.
Exactly.
So that's what they're doing now. They're in 10 years there will be no other people's films on Netflix. It's going to be all shows. It's going to be all Netflix. They're going to be original Netflix series that they're picking up, that they're creating, and keeping people engaged with. All of this stuff that you're seeing now with the girlfriends and all this other, that's just, you know, like I said, I believe, you know,
that's just to draw in more subscribership.
That's drawing more people. And what are they doing? They are working on something with the people from girlfriends. So this is just to wet your whistle, to set you up to bring you in. So when they do this little show with the girlfriend,
and what do? They bring you in. They bring you in, and then they get and look at the whole structure of how it's set up.
Do it. I know you're not talking about Netflix. Look at how but they all are doing it. They're following that.
Yeah, exactly. And look at how the page is set up when you go in. Look at how the page is set up when you go in. It's just another algorithm. It's set up to the content that you like.
We know, Ralph. We know you're not debating Netflix, but Netflix is the bar. They are the ones that everybody is following.
That's not what I was even about to say. What I was about to say is that I've never looked at Netflix in my life. So when you say like when you just say look at that look at how it's set
So
up.
you physically never looked at
I've
Netflix.
never
Okay.
seen it. So so like
So
YouTube
without having to visually
you guys
see
are
it,
coming
Ralph,
from the aspect that we
I'm
have
not coming
but I'm saying YouTube guys come from the aspect that let me finish. YouTube guys come from the aspect that hey, I've been streaming for a minute now, right? Well, I see how this is going. I see it's going. But once again, as I said before, I'm a novice at this particular thing. I don't see the same vision you have because I'm not at your level. I've never looked at CBS Access or HBO Max or Netflix or
But it's
Hulu,
just like
any of
looking.
that
It's
stuff.
just like looking at regular TV. If you looked at regular TV, if you're looking at a regular cable channel like HBO, Stars, Cinemax,
Yeah, I got regular TV on
Showtime.
right now.
Okay, if
That's what
you're
I'm saying.
looking at those,
That is what I am. But that is
if
what
you're
I
looking
am
at those,
used to.
if you're looking at those, Ralph, you pay for your cable every month is a subscription based service. It's the same thing. It's no different. The only thing that's different is the app that it's loading up on. That's the only difference. How the app is set up and how you're paying for it. You're paying for content.
Well, see, like I said,
based don't have live. They don't have a live television feed going on. Whereas like HBO has,
with the
it's not
exception of
live.
Hulu.
HBO's not live. It's still taped or whatever you want to call it. They still show it. Hulu, whoever else has live. It's a few of them that have live.
Yeah.
Like Pluto.
Right.
Pluto has live.
But if you have but basically my point is if you have HBO, if you have Stars, if you have Cinemax, if you have Showtime, you basically that's a subscription app. That's a subscription based service. It's no different. And it's still streaming. Technically it's still a streaming digital signal. The only thing is it's coming from a fiber optic to a coaxial into your home. Or via satellite.
I just want to add this, Ralph.
Okay.
I'm not even really coming from a visual standpoint. I'm really just throwing numbers at you. It's really about numbers. It ain't about the visual platform. It's really about numbers. It's about the theory of the numbers, right? Get subscribers.
I understand, but see, here's the thing: is that we all have our own opinions. This is just my opinion, right? This is what I'm thinking, right?
Okay.
One, and if I don't have it, I think there's a lot of people out there in this country that don't have it. Like I sat here and listened to what Kev said, like streaming it through your cell phone and this and this. I ain't trying to do all that crap. I'd rather just hit a button, had the TV come on, and just keep on going with life. Now I understand that streaming is the way to go nowadays, and I just haven't gotten to that level. Wait a minute. My mom is on that level. She streams. Now we live in our apartment. She streams in her room. I don't stream in the living room. Right. She's always saying, Ralph, you should start watching Netflix. This great show is on. You should start watching this great show. I just haven't got there yet because I still got a ton of television, either recorded or DVD tapes. I still got to get to before I even start with that. Hell, I got the first season of Picard on Blu-ray and the first 2 seasons of Star Trek on Blu-ray. I haven't even opened the package yet. I just haven't gotten it yet. Right. So as I said, I'm not discounting any single thing that you or Kev has said about streaming with the number. I'm not saying that. All I'm just saying for me, it's a wait and see thing. Is this the great thing? Now, once again, I don't work for Warner Brothers. I ain't one of them actors in the movie. I'm not a director of a movie. So in realistically speaking, I could give a damn if it goes great. If it goes bad, go bad. I got no dog in the fight.
Right.
No dog.
I got you.
I'm just sitting there saying the way I'm seeing it. And like I said,
and you're entitled to that. And plus, there's millions of people out there that's like you too. Because, like we said, we just ran the numbers down. There's only, 200 million subscribers is a lot of people, but that ain't everybody in the world. So that's what I'm saying. That gives
Ralph, and Ralph, just to give you a heads up, Ralph, if you and your mother are in the same house and she has Netflix, she can create a separate account inside of Netflix to where you could have up to 5 people on. You can set up 5 different accounts on in the house to where she could be watching Netflix in her bedroom, and you could be watching Netflix in the living room, and not interfere with each other.
He's not interested in it. That's the point. He's not interested in streaming.
No. That ain't even it. I'm not home enough to be sitting there investing that kind of time.
But when you stream, Ralph, you can do it on the go. That's the point. That's the difference. Streaming, you can do it from your phone, on the bus, you
can be. If that Netflix account is set up to your phone,
I don't do any of that stuff. Like when I'm in the car, I don't have music playing through my cell phone. I don't do that. I barely take. Most thing I do is take phone calls. Why? Because the sound comes out through the speakers in the car. That's it. I'm concentrating on the road. I'm not sitting there trying to. And most of, well, if you want to say out of 100 times, if I'm going out with somebody, I'm usually the person driving. So no, I don't have time to be sitting there and watching.
No, I get that. I'm not saying why you're driving. I definitely don't promote anybody driving and watching their cell phone.
While you're on a flight, if you're at a hotel. While you're on a flight, if you're at a hotel room, hell, your cable subscription service, you could stream your subscription service that you pay for with your cable directly to your phone.
I'm a little.
I used to do that with my phone. When I had cable 10 years ago, I was watching stuff on my phone when I would be on a train through my phone from the cable.
The point is, just to wrap this up so we can get to the battle.
Streaming.
The point is, I mean, that's on you. Whether you decide to join the streaming revolution, that's up to you. Maybe you want to wait
technically speaking, you already joined the streaming.
Well, I mean, yeah, but what I mean is well, he's joined the subscription revolution, not the streaming revolution. The subscription-based streaming services.
But it's all. But the reason why I said that, the only reason why I said that is because everything that we watch, including cable, and that's cable for the last 20 to 30 years, has all still been a digital signal.
Yeah, I know, but that's more.
You've been
streaming. But that's the technical. The point is, he's already. So you rather pay for cable and watch when you have time to watch. Some people are gonna be that. Some people, if that's convenient for them, people pay for convenience. But at the end of the day, you know, the reason why most people, or a lot of, I don't even know if it's most people, the reason why people, I'm gonna speak for myself, I'm not paying $200-$300 to Cablevision anymore, or any of those, or down here we got Spectrum. I'm not gonna be paying $200 a month to some company to get a bunch of channels that I don't even watch anyway, and you know, I end up missing out on it. That's just this is my reason why I started.
You pay for it. That's why everybody pays for what they watch.
I pay for what I watch. I want to watch stuff on. I started
don't have a problem with that. When
Netflix,
we have had this discussion, me and my mom had a discussion about. Matter of fact, discussion came up last week. And I said, if you want to get rid of cable, get rid of cable. We can go to streaming service because I'll tell you this: the main reason that I even when that discussion comes up, I said let's go to streaming. It's because of you two guys. You guys make it sound like it's the greatest thing. Like you know, like your mind will be blown when you do that. So I got no problem doing that. But what I'm sitting there saying is that listen, if I have a certain thing that's in my brain, that's how I think. It's not that I'm trying to be on the left or on the fence. That's just how I think.
No, you're entitled to do and think however you want to think. That's why I was just saying. There's no point in. We're not trying to sway you into streaming. That's a decision you make on your own. We're just trying to tell you what I'm talking about. I wasn't even talking about us personally. What I'm talking about is there's going to be a group of people that are like you, like everyone out there. But the point at hand was the whole HBO Max thing. The point, and I'm gonna go and say, forget about wait and see. There is no wait and see. They already got enough subscribers to make more money than what they would make in the theaters right now, because they're not going to make any money in the theaters right now because no one's going to the theaters. So even if they didn't get one more subscriber, if they didn't get any more subscribers, which of course they will, if they didn't get any more subscribers, they still are going to make as much at the very least as they would made if they put the movie in the theaters now. If they put the movies in the theater during a pandemic. Because this pandemic, people, it's not going anywhere. It's not anytime soon. If you think it is, you're crazy. And I'm, no disrespect. I don't mean that's not a personal attack on anybody's thought process. But I'm being honest with you. It's not going anywhere. Period. Right. So if you now, so it's the choice. You either wait 2 to 3 years for a film that you thought was going to come out this year, or now you have to start making decisions. If you're the business, you make decisions. What do we do to adapt? What do we do to adapt? We have to start putting the movies out. Now, is this a business decision that AT&T will do every year? We don't know. They might, but like Kev he brought a good point. AT&T has a whole different picture for everything else. Warner Brothers has no more say so in this. AT&T wanted to go streaming from the jump. That's what they want to do, and they did this deal with HBO Max because I guess maybe they felt it's a good thing because HBO is a known name. It's
and they're
to
a
be honest with
communications company.
AT&T, yes, is a very known name, but they're not. Only for a few years they've been known for media as far as television and film. So it's a smart move to bring on a household name that's known for films and television, which is HBO. So they partner with them. You use the name. And AT&T is like, look, we want to be able to bring this to our subscribers. We want to bring this to our customers. And trust me, there's going to be all types of AT&T deals. If you own AT&T, you're going to be getting all types of deals with HBO Max and stuff like that you're going to get for getting an AT&T phone and stuff like that.
And that goes back to what, Wes? That goes back to what? Because people do what?
Because people
stream. The whole purpose of giving the whole purpose of AT&T doing what they did is so that way they're building up their numbers on two sides. They're building up their mobile base, and at the same time they're making money off of subscription services that's tying into their mobile base. And when people see, oh wow, if I go over to AT&T, not only do I get a good deal on the sucky ass iPhone that nobody else likes, but now I get free HBO streaming. I get HBO Max. I get all the other stuff. I get I get if you have AT&T, I'm pretty sure they still have their satellite company. So now now you get DirecTV or whatever that's tied in with AT&T. So it's all a content thing. It's all a thing to bring in more content or to get more content to people and to suck more people in, to keep your face in front of your damn phone. That's the whole purpose.
Quick numbers right here. Number of mobile phones video viewers in the United States, right? This was back in 2016. 151.1 million people were watching stuff on their phones. 2016. 2020 is now up to 179.4 million people that are watching stuff that's only on their phones. And we're not talking about on tablets. We're not talking about on your television. This is phones, right? So that alone is going to make AT&T, a phone company, say, yo, this is where we want our money. We want to bring our content back home to what we do. We're going to bring it here because guess what? Most people that are getting streamed because they come in the form of apps, they're watching them on their mobile phones because we're living in the age of now. We're living in the age of right now. People want their content now. They don't want to wait till they get home. They don't want to wait till it comes on TV. They don't want to wait through commercials. They want it now.
That's it. Here's another point to add. Here's another point. Wait, Ralph. Here's another point to add on top of what Wes is saying. This is the reason why, for a long time, Sprint was the leading service with unlimited data, talk, and text. Now, this is why T-Mobile, who now owns Sprint, and all of these other companies are pushing unlimited data. Why? Content. Because more people are watching people.
To add to that, Kev, T-Mobile has a deal because I'm on T-Mobile. T-Mobile had a partnership with Netflix. You were getting free Netflix
there it is.
For a year by signing up to T-Mobile.
Even with Sprint, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when Jay-Z bought Tidal, Jay-Z set up a thing with Sprint and Tidal. And what did they do? If you got Tidal, if you picked up a new Sprint account or if you renewed your account with Sprint, they gave you Tidal for 6 months for free.
Yeah.
Like I said, gentlemen, I just have. I mean, here's my cell phone. Right. That's just not me. And like I keep saying, I'm not debating any single thing that you guys just said. I mean, it all sounds great. All sounds great. For me, it's just a wait and see thing, and that's all I gotta say about that part. That's it.
Wait and see about what though? What do you mean?
Now, I already said what I would say because we gonna wait about this thing, and we need to get to something else besides this because it's going on way too long.
You keep saying wait and see, but I don't get your point, though. But
I'm talking about the business, not as far as me turning the streaming service and like this model. Like, are they really going to try to establish a new business model? Because that's what it sounds like they're trying to establish.
They're not trying, Ralph. They're doing.
Or excuse me, doing a new business model. Will this new business model work, or will it won't? That's the wait and see kind of thing.
It's worked already.
And it's not. That's not. But it's not.
They haven't done. They haven't. You're not going. You can't really sit there and say that them taking the movie and releasing it on the streaming service and in the theater at the same time is going to work until Wonder Woman comes out and you see how it does.
No, not necessarily, because Disney. What was the name of that movie? What was the name of that cartoon that came out in the beginning of the pandemic? And what's the name of those other movies that came out in the beginning of the pandemic? And they released them directly to streaming?
That was Trolls, but they didn't put them in the theater. They didn't put Trolls in the theater. They only put it in theater overseas, not domestic.
But it went directly to streaming. It went directly to streaming.
It did not play in the United States in a movie theater.
Yeah.
It didn't. It only played overseas.
But it went directly to streaming. That's the whole point. The whole point of what we're talking about is directly to streaming.
That is not what I said.
What I said. I'm finished. I'm going to go make me some ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles.
What I had said was,
ass nigga. Ramen.
No, man.
Listen, ramen. First of all, wait. Now, let's get something correct. There is nothing ghetto about eating ramen noodles. Ramen noodles is actually no. You split. No, actually, no. You can split the packet in half, so either two people can eat, or you could just take half and use it to make half a meal with, and use it to add your vegetables and stuff too. That's why it's folded in half, because you can split it.
You better cut up some hot dogs and put it.
Well, that's exactly what I'm doing. I got some Nathan hot dogs, and I'm gonna throw them in there, and I'm going.
That's some paprika and garlic. It tastes better.
Yeah. Right. So we're about to move on to the thing. Shout out to everybody again in the chat room. I saw our boy Jay popped in. He's been dropping some knowledge in there. Yes, let me just throw a few things up that Jay was talking about. Right here, because many people go to buy bigger TVs around sound and watch these blockbuster films at home. It just may work. He also, before that, put something about film, about theaters. He said, he feels that people are still going to go to the theaters. You know what I mean? Once it's safe. And I believe that too. He says with films like Dune and The Matrix, people will go to the theaters. No doubt the price of tickets will go up, or they just can release those big films in IMAX only. Also, no free 6-month on HBO Max anymore. Once Wonder Woman comes out, gotcha. So he's just he also gave us, that's a little information that he just gave us too. So that free HBO 6 months thing, whatever they got going, that after Wonder Woman comes out,
they stopped that.
Mm-hmm. So that like I said, shout out to Jay and everybody that's in the chat room going forward with that. But like I said, man, it's just we'll everything is wait and see at this point. But the bottom line is I feel if they wanted to if they want to salvage all of the money that they've put into these 17 films, I feel they had no choice but to do something like this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in the next year of 2021, how many of those films are really going to make any real money in the theaters if that's only they released them in the theaters? If Tenet didn't do it, that's just like that was the word you was going with a few weeks ago, right? You were saying the litmus test. Well, that was the litmus test for theaters, because they were like, you know what? If Tenet isn't going to be able to do it, which it was bold for them to try it. But yeah, I mean, people. It's just, if Tenet ain't gonna do it, what makes you think any of these other movies are gonna be able to do it? So they're like, you know what? We're not gonna do that. We need to adjust. We need to adapt. We're gonna change the game And why not change the game? Why not be an innovator? Because no one, you know what I'm saying? Everyone can do things better. Everyone can do things a different way, but everyone, you can only be the first. You're the only person that can do it first. Meaning, this is a first that Warner Brothers is doing. They're releasing their entire slate straight to HBO Max. No one else has done that. And no one else, they may do it now, follow them. They may even figure out a better way of doing it. They might say, we'll do this. And the ad insult, not inside the injury, but on top of that, they're not doing what Disney. Disney charges extra money. They're not charging you extra money on top of that. At least not right now. Maybe it'll change. But the bottom line is, as we know right now, as long as you got HBO Max, you can see it for a limited time. You'll be able to see it. But you don't have to pay an extra $20 either, or 40, 30, 40 bucks. So that's another advantage that they got by doing that. So you got to make it up somewhere. Because this shit ain't going nowhere.
And what's the bigger thing, Wes? And what's the biggest? What's the bigger thing, Wes?
What? You tell me.
And Wes, just to expand on what you're saying, the bigger thing to that as well is that people would rather sit, and I'm going to keep saying the pandemic is over because it's the freaking truth. Yeah. People would rather be in a bar, a restaurant, or in a mall surrounded by people with no mask and have a greater chance of catching coronavirus than to sit in a theater with everybody having a mask on, except for those who are eating.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is everyone has their own theories on it. Some people
are going to do that first. People are going to do that first before they go to a movie theater. That's what I meant. That's what I said.
Right, they're going to do that first, whether they rather to or not. They're going to do that first because they feel that more of a necessity. A movie has never been considered a necessity. Yeah, a movie is going to a movie for most people has never been considered a necessity. It's a luxury, right? So, but some people consider going to the store to get what they got to get, going to the restaurant to get food. They consider that a necessity, so they're going to do it. And plus, they have a little bit of control over it. You can move away from a person. You can do this. But if you're sitting in a theater, you're just sitting in a theater. So people just think, it's just gonna. It's not going nowhere. It's just that plain simple. It's not going nowhere. And anybody who's smart will do what Warner Brothers did. And trust me, Disney's doing it. We all know that they're doing it.
They've been doing it.
Do it first. They did it. They've been doing it. But I'm just saying. They're gonna do the same thing because once it's proven that it's not gonna happen. So Denzel Washington, Tom Hanks. This is the last part of the battle, part 2 of 2. We'll get right into it. Run on down. Tom Hanks is in the lead, 12-8. Okay, we are now at the second 20 movies, and we go. Start off with Denzel Washington, The Bone Collector versus Tom Hanks. Catch Me If You Can.
Bone Collector.
I love Catch Me If You Can, but man, it's a tough one. Bone Collector was probably the better film. I'd probably seen Catch Me If You Can more because I just enjoyed it. I liked, the character, and I liked that it was a, true story or based on a true story. But Bone Collector was a better film in my opinion. Now we talk about
the Bone Collector was a better film. It was a dope TV show.
Denzel's character,
and it actually turned into a dope TV show.
They were both significant characters, even though, because they both were kind of like lead supporting, right? It wasn't like the leads of the film were other people, but they were like the 1A of the film, the supporting. Obviously Tom Hanks chasing down Leonardo's character, and Denzel being the character that's the paraplegic. So, or quadriplegic, I don't know the proper term, but he could move, put it that way. So, I don't know. I think I'm going with The Bone Collector. Another film.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
God bless you.
I'm gonna have to go with The Bone Collector too. Although I do like Catch Me If You Can. It's a really good movie. But that's really Leonardo's movie. It's not really Tom Hanks's movie.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's really Leonardo's movie. Tom Hanks was the strong, supporter, supporting. And then if we have to go with that, I go movie for movie and I say The Bone Collector. But all right, so The Bone Collector goes in. So we put that in. Next up is number 22, or number 2, whatever you want to call it, because this is the second round of the films. The Hurricane, Denzel Washington, versus number 22, The Da Vinci Code, Tom Hanks.
That ain't even a question, man. Just move on. That ain't even a question.
All right. The Hurricane moves on.
Hurricane. And I'm gonna keep saying this and keep saying it. Denzel Washington was robbed of an Oscar for that movie. He was robbed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Amongst
and
others.
I thought, when we were supposed to do this last week, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't. But American Beauty came on television. It came on, I think, HBO one day last week, and I sat there and I watched it again. And it might have been the first time I really looked at it since I saw it in the movie theater. And yes, Kevin Spacey did a very good job in the role of a guy whose life is crumbling, and he gets turned on by a young girl and all that stuff. It ain't nowhere as complex as Reuben Hurricane Carter. Nowhere. There are scenes in there. Like when he's in the cell by himself and he's talking to himself and you see him like sane and crazy and sane.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey ain't did nothing like that. And he's the closest thing he did like that, if you want to say, when he was in Seven. But that ain't the movie he was nominated for. Denzel Washington was robbed. Outright robbed.
Who did he lose to?
Kevin Spacey.
For what?
American Beauty.
American Beauty. Yeah, nah.
I just want to be noted on the record that I picked the Da Vinci Code. So I just want the record to reflect that I said the Da Vinci Code. Fuck a Hurricane.
Da Vinci Code. Yeah, nah. Hurricane was he said stricken from the record. He said that be stricken from the record. The Hurricane. All right, cool. So now next, number 23. Remember the Titans. Denzel Washington versus number 23, The Terminal, Tom Hanks.
Wait, what was that again? I didn't hear that.
The Terminal, Tom Hanks versus Remember the Titans.
Oh, damn, they were both really good movies.
Yeah, Terminal was good. Joseph Tanner puts in there. He wanted to talk. I mean, you're saying some choices for the Jewish actors and actresses. Respond to my versus choices for Jewish actors. I know you put something about Mel Brooks versus Spielberg, Jewish directors.
Nah, that's no competition. Sorry, Mel Brooks.
The thing is, Joseph, the Jewish directors, that's a whole nother thing. But there's really no one that stands up to Spielberg's catalog. We tried it with Ridley Scott, and he still lost. But at least Ridley Scott had a decent catalog. It's just his catalog is so vast, and he's got a lot of great films on this catalog. He would destroy Mel Brooks. I mean, he would destroy Mel Brooks. That might even be a sweep. But doesn't mean we can't find any other Jewish directors. But
wait. But to that question, whether he was Jewish or not, whether it is Jewish or not, realistically speaking, what other director can you beyond Scott can you even put up against Spielberg, living or dead? Nobody.
There really isn't because of his vast amount of work. Not just vast work, good work. His vast good work,
solid work.
Big, movies, money makers, stuff like that. But yeah, okay. So where are we at? We're at The Terminal versus Remember the Titans.
I'm taking The Terminal. I kind of liked him with doing the Russian accent and trying to straighten out Catherine Zeta-Jones is not a bad choice at all.
Yeah.
But it was a little different, because sometimes Tom Hanks is one of the guys that no matter how many times you see him playing the good guy, you always like him playing the good guy.
Yeah.
He's just that guy. He's always going to be the guy from Bosom Buddies. No matter, to me, he's always going to be the guy from Bosom Buddies. No, you could say Forrest Gump, yeah, but he's the guy from Bosom Buddies all the time.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with The Terminal as well because I really enjoyed the movie. I loved Remember the Titans. There's no disrespect to that, but I'm gonna go with and I love sports movies, but I'm gonna go with The Terminal. I think The Terminal was a little. I don't know if I want to say it was a better movie, but it was a little more intriguing to me. To me, it was a little more intriguing. So I'm going with Terminal. Kev, even though the Terminal wins, what was you going with?
I go Remember the Titans.
Okay. So all right. So
here's my knock. I'm gonna tell you one reason why. I'm gonna tell you a reason why I wasn't gonna go Remember the Titans. And it's not a knock against Denzel. It's to the people that did Remember the Titans. And let me put that. Producer, listen. Aretha Franklin has more songs available than Respect. I'm tired of seeing movies constantly using the same damn song. Like, how many times you gonna keep using Respect in a movie? Stop it!
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. It's because of the rights and the money. Specifically for somebody like Aretha Franklin who wants her money up front. It usually costs more money for different songs because that movie is used so much. They probably already have a deal with the label to use that.
It's probably some sort of It's probably some sort of deal set up where they can get to it and use it more. The rights, the synchron, they're called synchronization rights, or whatever to use those things. It's probably some sort of predetermined deal because that song has been used so many times. But I agree with you, Ralph. It is overused, but there's a few of them. Okay, so next up, that was Tom Hanks won that one. So next up, we got Training Day, number 24, versus The Polar Express.
I'm sorry. What did you say? I'm sorry. Really? I'm sorry. There was a category. I'm sorry. There was a category. I'm sorry. I'm confused about this one. I'm confused about this one. I'm sorry. I heard Training Day. Hey, Ralph, did you hear something else? Because all I heard was Training Day. Did you hear something else?
I thought I heard like a sneeze, a cough, or something. And of all things, the cartoon. You gonna put a cartoon up against Training Day.
I did not put anything. We're gonna go over this again, Ralph.
Kev,
I did not put anything.
Ralph, I already know. Let him say what he got to say, Ralph. Just let him say what he got to say.
You want to go ahead on the IMDb yourself and look it up.
I ain't gonna say
nothing against nothing. It's what it is.
I ain't even gonna say it.
It's just like I didn't put a football movie against The Terminal. It is what it is. So next up, all right. So Training Day out.
Set up.
Next up is John Q. John Q. versus number 23, the Lady Killers.
I'm sorry. Do we? I'm still hearing static. Why is there? What's going on? I'm confused.
John Q. John.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So no point in dwelling on that. John Q moves on. All right. Next up, Antoine Fisher versus Charlie Wilson's War.
I'm gonna stick with Denzel with Antoine Fisher. To tackle a story like that as your first time stepping behind a director's chair, not something for HBO or PBS or, for God's sake, Lifetime, but you rolled out something, a big dog subject, with a big cast, and you did a damn good job, man. I gotta give you, Antoine. I gotta give you credit for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's also big film, big story based on a true story.
Historical story too. I
Yeah,
mean,
so
it's a period piece.
yeah, so it was definitely a big film for him, and but against Charlie Wilson's War. So
Yeah, Anton.
Charles for
Because
sure.
how do you not pick a movie with you, the name gets no blacker than Anton. It gets no blacker than that.
Okay, yeah. All right, cool. Next up is Out of Time, Denzel Washington.
What?
Versus Angels and Demons, which is the sequel to Da Vinci Code.
Yeah. Guess what? You are out of time. And I love Angels and Demons. I love Angels and Demons. I've read the Dan Brown books, all of those books. And Dan Brown, just on a side note, Dan Brown has a bunch of other books that they haven't made into movies yet. That if they did, they would be some dope ass movies. But that whole series, that Robert Langdon series, is dope as hell. But listen, you are out of time.
You know, Out of Time actually was one of my least favorite Denzel Washington movies, to be honest with you. I think by the time Out of Time, as you can see where it falls in between all of these movies, to me, other than Training Day, you know, I was like, all right, I've seen Denzel in this type of role before. You know what I mean? It was just like, it wasn't, I mean, it was okay. I liked it, but it wasn't it was one of my least favorite Denzel movies, which is weird, but yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
I mean, it was okay. I'm still gonna give it over Angel Demons because I did like the Da Vinci Code. I'm not gonna knock the Da Vinci Code, but to me, it just started downgrading after that one, and I don't know if that was simply the story or was it the direction of Ron Howard. I honestly don't know because I mean you gotta look at him now and say, yo man, what happened to you?
No, it was the story. But I think Ralph, in this instance, it was the story because when you're reading the book,
I'm still going with Ron Howard because I'm like, what happened to you, man? Because yo, Ron,
yeah,
what the fuck happened to you?
It wasn't. It definitely.
I was agreeing with you. She said, ain't nobody agreeing with me but Kev on some of my movies. I actually agree with you on Angels and Demons. No nonsense. She's like, damn, ain't nobody agreeing with me. I agree. I was gonna pick Angels and Demons because, like I just said, Out of Time was one of my least favorite Denzel Washington movies. I didn't think he did anything too special in it, but beat Denzel, you know, and so I didn't think it was. You know, but you know, it wins because you guys picked it, so it still moves on.
Like I said in the beginning, you are out of time.
You are out of time. Okay, so that moves on. Next is now this is on the opposite side of the coin. This is one of my favorite Denzel Washington movies. Man on Fire versus Toy Story 3. Woody.
Man.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Let me get this straight. You put John Reese up against Woody?
Yeah, Woody can hold his own, man.
and on this one, you know, we had talked about this before and said, no, he was just the voice of Woody. But, it's a big however.
Big however, yeah.
Right.
This was a really good one, though.
It's probably one of the best cartoons I ever saw. And that last 15 minutes when they thought they were all going to die.
Mm-hmm.
I remember people started crying in the theater. Like, oh my God. Like, because like you just wasn't speaking. And then the end when he actually leaves him, they're just waving at him. It's like, damn, man. Because I think that's part of all of our childhood. We all had those toys that we liked, that we loved as kids. But as we grew older, we looked at it like, hey, that's my Darth Vader doll. But now I'm 19 or 17 or 15. I'm getting girls like, yo, Darth Vader ain't so cool no more because I got a real life doll to play with. So
nope.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I played with my toys up until I was about 20. I still have my toys.
Oh
But
yeah, well,
unfortunately, a good part
I
of my
traded
toys
my
because
toys in for girls at like
but
12.
but because of Ann Davis, yes, I'm calling my mom out because Ann Davis liked to, if your room wasn't clean, she just come in and just start throwing everything out. Like I've had Hess trucks, Evil Knievel. We've had stuff that's now collector's items, stuff that's worth money that I no longer have because my mother
Yo,
is OCD, clean. Oh, you don't want to do what I told you to do when I told you to do it? Throw everything out.
it looked like junk.
And then have to
Yeah,
turn around and
yo,
spend money to
my
buy new
brother.
stuff.
Yeah, my brother same way. I've had stuff that was collect Star. I mean, my room literally was covered in Star Wars toys, action figures, play sets, all kinds of stuff. I don't have none of that stuff anymore. Brother, got to go around breaking crap. Brother got to go around touching. Like, yo, leave my crap alone, man. And you know what? If I had it right now, I wouldn't have to work for nobody. I can go right today and sold that 12-inch Darth Vader doll in 2020, and I'd probably get like a cool $5,000 for it. That's what it would go for today. So I have thousands of dollars lost because of my
Ralph.
brother.
Hey, Ralph. Ralph. Here's the most painful part about that part because I have a little brother, and I understand your pain. Here's the other side to that. Don't say nothing to them because what happens? Then here come mom and dad. Well, what you yelling at him for? Leave him alone. He's gonna play with it. But I work with my money that I work for. You live under my house. You live in my house.
Like this one.
So
yeah.
I work for my allowance money to get that.
Y'all can't share. Yeah.
Yeah,
that part. I can't. No, I don't want to share. Don't, my mom would be like, "Don't be
Are
selfish."
you picking Toy Story, Ralph?
I'm picking Toy Story.
No, Toy Story can go to Woody. Listen. Woody just got set on fire. How about that? Woody just caught a bullet to the face. Damn, Woody against John Reese. You lost your damn mind.
Yeah, well, so I'm gonna finished.
This time, Buzz gonna win.
I just got finished saying that this is one of my favorite Denzel Washington films. So I have to pick Man on Fire because for no other reason than that.
It's one of mine too, but Toy Story 3, man, it really touches you more. It's like, listen, Disney and Pixar have made a lot of cartoon movies. There's very few of them that touch that emotional chord in you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Certainly,
like a migraine.
Certainly Up. No, tell me in Up the first 10 minutes of Up, you wasn't like, damn.
Yeah, that was pretty sad. They were really good with the whole with being the sentimental, hitting that whole sentimental thing. So unfortunately, Ralph, Toy Story's losing because Man on Fire is gonna move on.
That's okay.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, Woody just got a grenade stuck up his butt. Woody just got a grenade stuck up his butt.
Next is Inside Man. Number 29. Inside Man versus Larry Crown.
How you gonna disrespect the wood? I don't understand. How you gonna disrespect the wood? I don't understand.
Oh man. Yeah, okay. Larry Crown versus Inside Man.
You know what? I'm gonna help make you feel better, Ralph. Captain America is going to be playing Buzz Lightyear in a live action Buzz Lightyear movie, so that should make you feel better.
Yeah, Chris Evans is going to play the live action Buzz Lightyear.
No, that don't make me feel bad because that's a whole nother subject. Stop. Listen, movies that don't need to be made don't make. There's no reason for a live action Toy Story.
Yes, there's plenty of reason for a live action Buzz Lightyear. You listen, stop it. There's every reason in the world to make that movie. Every reason.
It's his own movie, but I don't think it's right. It's not a live action Toy Story.
Exactly.
It's called Toy Story, so it should be with toys, right? So
wait. If they are going to make Toy Story 5, and now Chris Evans is going to play the role of Buzz Lightyear, that's a different story. But they're going to make a live action. No, There's no reason to.
It's
I don't.
basically Buzz. The movie's going to be basically Buzz Lightyear's origin, his origin
They
story.
already did that.
You gotta
They
remember.
already did
Well, think
that.
about it this way. Think about it this way, Ralph. Buzz Lightyear is a toy. It has to be based on something, right? So it's
They
like
already-
maybe the toy. Maybe this movie is going to represent the story that the toy is based on.
Right.
So that's what that means.
No.
That's all it could be. I mean, I don't think it's going to be. It would be a little stupid for it to be okay. It's the live action version of this character that's a toy, but you know the toy was made from something. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
They're toys. They're all made off of whatever it's cartoons or if it's real live action. You know, they're made from something first. They were just made up characters for that. But as you know, Toy Story blended in real toys that we know in the world. You know, that's made after something. But anyhow,
I tell
So
you.
anyway, Man on
I'll tell
Fire
you this.
is going through.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you this with that one. If they do a live action form of Toy Story where Chris Evans is now Buzz Lightyear, right?
They're not. It doesn't say it's Toy Story though. But go ahead.
It's not Toy Story. It's just Buzz Lightyear.
All right. Well, let's say he does Buzz Lightyear, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of give me a child story. I mean, Child's Play swing where he's now like he's crazy that he's awake. And he starts wiping out people. I'm for that one. Yeah, I didn't see that, but we're not going to see that one.
I mean, it's just like if G.I. Joe is a toy. It started as a toy. It was a toy, but they have a live action movie to it.
Right. It was called Toy Soldiers, and you saw what happened when G.I. Joe had when the safety button was off, and next thing you know, G.I. Joe was really throwing G.I. bombs. You saw that small soldiers.
No, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is they're making it. I mean, it's possible. I'm not really care for it, but I don't think they're gonna base it on the toys at all. They're not going to mention the toys at all.
The toys has nothing to do with it.
Lightyear was
it's
real
Buzz Lightyear's story.
It's his story as a character. It's his character's story. So same deal. G.I. Joe, there's always action figures. Then you had the cartoon, right? Based on all of that.
Comic book.
And the comic book, of course. So they made a live action movie. You know what I'm saying? To kind of complement all that. But anyway, so we're up to Man on Fire. Oh, I'm sorry. We're up to Inside Man versus Larry Crown.
I don't know what the hell Larry Crown is. So Inside Man, regardless.
Larry Crown's a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Larry Crown's was a good movie. Tom Hanks' first directorial debut, and it is a good movie, but it ain't Inside Man. It's not.
Yeah. See, now, if I was actually lining this up, I would have put Larry Crown versus Man on Fire. Exactly. I mean, versus not Man on Fire versus Antoine Fisher, because you got directorial debuts. But anyway, go ahead. Next up is the Manchurian Candidate.
Didn't. So.
No, I did not. Right, exactly. Because I went by the order of release.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So you say. Let you tell
Stack in the deck.
Yeah. There you go.
Watch the hands. It's all in the wrist. It's all in the wrist. It's all in the wrist.
3-card Monty. That's all I gotta say.
Inside Man wins. Manchurian Candidate up next against Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close.
Manchurian Candidate. Period.
I did not see the remake
actually because I didn't see the other movie.
You did not see
Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close loses for me because of that damn kid. I never wanted to be that kid.
Come on, come on, bro.
No.
You can't do that, man. The kid is not even on trial here. It's Kanye part. This nigga said the kid. Yo,
I never wanted to be the kid in a movie so bad as that little boy. That little boy. Look, if people don't know what the movie's about, it's a 9/11 based movie, right? And Tom Hanks dies in the movie. Spoiler alert, but you should have seen it. It's old as hell. Should have seen it by now. But that little kid is the biggest brat. He made his mom Sandra Bullock cry. He basically told her I wish you would have died instead of my father. What?
Yeah.
See the difference, and here we go. The difference between a European American mom and an African and a black mom.
I would have beat
And
that
you
kid's
wish
ass.
what? You wish what?
How about
Guess
you
what? Guess
join
where?
them?
Guess where he would have been asking. He would have been making that statement next to Jesus, and Jesus would have been like, "I knew you not." Okay, Wes, you get that
Jesus
reference.
was like,
I knew you not.
I knew you not.
Jesus was like, I can't do nothing for you, man. I can't do nothing for you, man.
No, that's
Sorry.
a everyone hates Chris moment where he literally got slapped into the next week when she slapped
Exactly.
she slapped that thing into the next week. He was like, "What day is it?" It was like next week.
Next Tuesday.
Like what? He literally got slapped into next week.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. That kid.
That film was good though, man. It was a good film. 9/11 based film. Yeah. So you're going against it because of the kid.
Sorry.
Sorry, Tom Hanks. You're gonna end up losing this because of the kid that was played your son in the film.
You should have raised your son better.
And more so, the kid had those big old what's the kid from Alfalfa Ears with big old green eyes? He had that popping crap. Like, get your ass down somewhere.
Okay, Manchurian Candidate moves on. All right, number 31, Deja Vu, which took me by surprise when I had no idea what that movie was going to be about. And then, to my surprise, it was a time travel movie. So, Deja Vu versus Captain Phillips. I'm the captain now.
Deja Vu.
Look at me.
For me.
Man. Both of them are good movies, but as I just said with Extremely Loud, Deja Vu wins for one small little reason. Topless Scene by Paula Patton puts it over the top for me. So sorry,
Paula Patton, man. She was like,
man.
She bought it, and she bought it in that film too, man. She could act, bro.
Robin Thicke, you're a dumbass. Sorry.
Oh yeah, well, he is. Paula Patton bought it in that film too. She really did. Deja Vu is gonna win no matter what because you just picked it. I picked it. I'm sure Kev probably picked it too. Okay, we're now down to number 32, American Gangster, Denzel Washington versus number 32, Saving Mr. Banks. Now he's already saved Private Ryan. Now he's saving Mr. Banks.
Well, listen, guess what? You ain't saving this blue magic baby. You ain't gonna be saved from this blue magic baby. Cause then we like Pepsi out in this bitch. You understand me? We like Pepsi out in these streets. You understand me?
Yo, I loved how in that scene you had Cuba Gooding Jr. playing Nicky Barnes.
Barnes, yeah.
Yo, he said, my man said, you got some goddamn nerve coming up in my motherfucking club without an invitation.
He said, and when he said, you here?
Yeah, you here? Yo, he said, that scene. Me and my brother do a show called The Breakdown. We're gonna I'm gonna bring that to his attention. We're gonna break down a scene from that movie that obviously should have never happened. When he should have never, ever wore that coat that wife bought him. Never. He should have never wore that coat. To the boxing match. And that's why now you won't come and burn it. Too late now. The jig is up. You done messed your shit up from wearing that damn thing. You should stay low key like you always was, and that's what would have kept you, under the radar.
Women
put you on the radar. Women messing you up, giving you wear this coat. You wear this coat. He didn't want to wear it. He just wore it to get her, to make her happy.
There's a reason why.
Yeah. He didn't want it.
And look what happened to him.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. So that was American Gangster. All right. Denzel he's got him on the ropes now. He's come back. Tom's trying to fend him off. He's coming back. Okay, number 33. The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Denzel Washington. Remake of a remake. And versus number 33. The Bridge of Spies. Which also had
Another
one of my
damn
favorite
remake.
Another damn remake. Which had one of my favorite actors in there, which was Gary Oldman. Wasn't he in that? He was in that, right?
No, he's not in British Spies.
Gary Oldman wasn't in British Spies?
Not in British
Okay.
Spies.
Like I said, he doesn't have any. He's not in there.
Wow.
So
I did like British Spies. I do like that stuff about
who the fuck was in British Spies? Then?
The
Who was the other
crumbling,
guy in it?
all the stuff they cut.
Now I gotta
That's
look it up.
Mark Rylance. He's he won an Oscar for it, but it's not a.
Not Gary.
He's the guy that played the creator of the whole thing in Ready Player One.
Yeah.
That's the same
Okay.
guy.
Got you.
I mean, I like all that cool spy kind of stuff, but man, taking the Pelham 1, 2, 3. I mean, it was good, but see, here's my problem with Pelham 1, 2, 3. It's a big noisy remake. I mean, the original was a pretty good movie. And then you got John Travolta trying to rehash Castor Troy, with a bad haircut and a real messed up mustache, and with his Vinnie Barbario leather coat on. I'm like, come on, man. And
Joseph Tanner said, "What's a remake of a remake?" I mean, that's exactly Taking Pelham 1, 2, 3. That's what it is. It's a remake of a remake.
Yeah.
Look at it. Yeah,
you should have and maybe if I like Denzel Washington, maybe if the other person wasn't John Travolta, I would feel differently about it. Right? I just thought that Travolta himself was too over the top.
As the criminal, yeah. Well, he plays all his. He kind of plays all his villains over the top, though. When you really think about it, look at Broken Arrow. He played that villain was played over the top, but he was good when he.
But in that one, it's supposed to be over the top, and even him doing casted.
He even did it in the Punisher. The Punisher character was a little over the top.
Over the top.
Yeah, and that's how he plays villains. That's just how he plays villains.
But see,
he's got a.
You can't say that because he played Vincent Vega. But he played Vincent Vega. Vincent Vega was nice and cool.
The villain of the film. He wasn't really necessarily a villain. He was one of the. You don't know what he was. Was he the villain? He wasn't a villain.
I don't know.
No, he wasn't.
But I'm saying even if you want to say when he was in Carrie, even though I don't like Carrie for other reasons, but he certainly wasn't over the top. And I know that's way back. Well, Ralph, come on, that's 1975, 76. I get that part. My point is that John Travolta, man, at this stage of your career, you ain't got to. Yo, you got your acting pedigree there. You're good. Just be a villain. I don't want to see no. I don't want to see no the crazed John Travolta with snot coming out of his nose. I don't need to see that crap. So for me, I'm going with Bridge of Spies.
Yeah. You're going with Bridge of Spies for that reason.
And James, I don't know if you're right about that part. If the one with John Travolta was the best Punisher, that other one with I don't. Well, I don't know, man.
Speaking of which, Thomas Jane has went on record to say, because he's into directing and stuff now, he said he would love to direct John Bernthal in a Punisher movie. So Thomas Jane,
let me tell you something. It's only two people. It's only two people that could do a new Punisher movie. Thomas Jane or Homegirl who did Punisher Warzone. Those are the only two people that could do Punisher.
I think that would be cool for Thomas Jane to direct the Punisher movie with John Bernthal playing Punisher. I think that would be cool. I think that'd be real cool, actually.
You know who I would kind of like to see play Punisher? I mean, I know it's not gonna happen, but I wouldn't mind if Punisher was Carl Urban. If he played it like he played Dredd, yeah, Yeah.
Oh, he'd kill it. Carl Urban
He'd
can act,
kill
man.
it.
He'd kill it. He
kill
I
it.
have no doubt
Real.
that he would do a good job
Nope, you're
as
both wrong. You're both wrong. Carl Urban needs to be Craven the Hunter. That's who Carl Urban needs to be.
he may. You never know. But no, they were looking at that other guy, that younger guy. But he'd be good for that too. I just think he's one of those actors. He's kind of like he's one of those actors that could kind of get into any role. Because I mean,
he's a one size fits all. He's a one size fits all actor.
Yeah, it's kind of like my man Tom Hardy and stuff like that type of dude who can kind of
exactly.
You know what I mean? So I believe he would do well as any of those guys.
He can adapt.
Yeah, he could definitely
adapt well.
Definitely adapt. Because you would know you put him up. You put his role in The Boys up against freaking the Star Trek. You're like, what? They're like, or even Dredd versus what he played in Star Trek.
Dredd is crazy. Dredd.
Like, it's night and day.
Now that's what I would. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. As we were talking about streaming, if you said, "Yo, Carl Urban is they put that on Netflix, it's gonna be a TV series," and Carl Urban, I'm watching it tomorrow.
Don't, bruh. Do not don't put that to bed. You never know. You never know, because they are talking about making Dredd a TV series. I don't know if I don't know if he's going to be in it. But I'm just saying, no, I know what you're saying. You want him to be in it, which I do too. I want him because there was talks of I don't know if it's supposed to be a TV series, but there were rumors of flying around that Stallone was going to produce a Dredd film or some sort of Dredd project with Carl Urban involved. So I don't know exactly what they were going to do or what his what exactly he was going to do with it, but there was talks of that. So that's still on the table as far as
long as Stallone is not writing, I don't care. As long as Stallone is not writing, as long as all he's doing is producing and staying in the background, I'm all for it.
I'm not gonna say anything bad about Sylvester Stallone.
Jimmy Ace has a question for us. He said, question to all of you. Is there a remake that you would like to see? A remake? The only remake I would like to see that comes to the top of my head is I'd like to see a modern day version. I probably shouldn't be saying this and putting it out into the universe because I actually want to remake it. A modern day version of a film, a 1960s film called A Guide for the Married Man. It's it was directed by Gene Kelly, and it starred Walter Matthau and a whole slew of other actors. So anyone who's never seen that movie, go check it out. I know it's an old movie, but check it out. It's in color actually, but it's called A Guide for the Married Man. One of the most funniest movies you will ever see. It's funny as hell, and I'm like, if that movie could be remade into, you get some a good actor and make that would probably be funny. That's what I would like to see. I can't really think of nothing else after that. I don't really like remakes, to be honest.
I don't really.
Not a remake fan.
Me neither. But I had already said a couple of months ago what I would like to see remade. I'm very adamant. If you're gonna remake a movie that was bad and you can make it good. And I mean, even though I think it was a decent movie, I would like to see 10 to Midnight be remade into today's time.
That'd be a good remake. That wasn't a bad movie though.
That wasn't a bad movie. It just got.
That was a good movie really, actually. It was just under the radar. Really, under the radar.
Very under the radar. Very under the radar. But that would be
I would like to do that too. That'd be a good remake. It's different. And for anyone, if you never saw 10 to Midnight, it's a film starring Charles Bronson. You might want to find it. It was a very, very good film. A lot of nudity. The only named person in it was Charles Bronson. Ola Ray made a cameo in it. Ola Ray from the Thriller video. She
went on to be in Beverly Hills Cop. I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah. Old girl from Beverly Hills Cop. So, yeah.
I'll tell you mine would be. I got two. Night of the Comet. Or The Wraith.
Oh, The Wraith.
Three actually.
The Wraith. I almost don't want it to be remade because it's so good, but it would be dope though to do that.
To do it
right
today.
If you did it right.
Right, exactly.
Gotta be done right though. Because today's
I might go with that.
Because today's technology, the Wraith would be a beast right now, yo.
Yeah.
That's good. So those are good movies. Those are good movies.
I certainly would love to see War Games made for today and The Last Starfighter. I think those two are just primed to be remade with
War
today's
Games, because War Games
technology. Specifically
War Games with today's technology and the fact that, with today's technology, today's government, today's everything, the way things work with social media and hackers, there's more hackers now than it was back then. So War Games would be an interesting remake as well.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
My only disagreement with you, Ralph, is The Last Starfighter. The Last Starfighter to me is like The Exorcist. That's just a movie that you don't touch. It's good as is.
I think with the premise it was like, you have this alien species that sends this video game to find this next star pilot. I mean, hell, that's an instant time for either the PlayStation 5 or the new Xbox, where they sit, you wake up one morning, Christmas Day, and it's sitting outside your door, and you're playing it, and you're like, oh my God, you get a cell phone text, and the next thing you know, you zapped into someone else's car, and you're in a different galaxy somewhere. That's just like screaming.
I got a movie. We're gonna call it.
But my thing with remix is like
Space Force.
Take a movie that was bad.
We got a movie, The Space Force. Space Force.
I think that's about to get canceled in about 30-something days. You got 30 days about to get canceled.
You got 30 days to get the F out. But anyway, okay. So let's move. Let's finish this off. Bridge of Spies is what you had there. I actually went with Bridge of Spies as well. Over Pelham. I wasn't too keen on that. It was okay. Like I said, after a remake of a remake is just at this point. Although A Star Is Born was a good remake of a remake of a remake. But anyway, okay. Next up is The Book of Eli versus Ithaca.
Man, I never even heard of Ithaca except Ithaca in New York.
We're gonna be one of those again.
Yeah. You could just, we could.
I gotta at least say the name.
Like he said in the movie, I don't want no trouble. I don't want no trouble.
Okay, here we go. Number 35 is Safe House. Denzel Washington versus number 35, A Hologram for the King.
Never heard of Hologram for a King.
This is the only Tom Hanks movie that I did not see on this list. I've never saw this film.
I never even heard of the movie.
Jeez.
Never even heard of it.
Well, it's there.
Isn't it like a kiddie movie?
That's the only one I didn't see.
Never heard of it.
All of these other films on here I've seen at least once. Interesting. Okay. Well, there you go. Safe House, which another one that's on my not so favorite Denzel Washington movie list as well. It's just in the bottom tier. Didn't hate it. Didn't not like it. It's just in the bottom tier. Okay. We're rounding this off. Number 36 is Flight versus number 36, Sully.
Flight.
Yeah, man. I'm drunk right now, and I'm saying Flight.
I like both of them, though. Both based on true stories, real people.
Flight is not a true story, is it?
It's based off of It's based off a real person.
Yeah.
That's based off a true story. Yeah.
I never heard that.
Yeah,
I'm dead serious. I didn't know it.
Yes, sir.
It's the one time. It's the one time. It's the one time Hollywood didn't steal a black a black person's real life achievement and use a white person to make it look good.
Well, I mean, I know the achievement, but they made him look bad. Like you was drunk and you just
Yeah, that's probably why they did it. That's probably
Exactly.
why
That's exactly why they did it.
because of what it was. Okay, I already know where Ralph is going with this
But
next one.
he was drunk. He was drunk and flew an airplane upside down.
upside down.
And he's drunk and high. He had sniffed coke. He sniffed the coke in order to get up. In order for him to get up and be able to not be drunk. Yeah, that was woo. Yeah, that's based on a true story, bro. And Sully also based on a true story. He landed the plane right there in the Hudson River. Or whatever.
They did
that was kind of messed up.
They did him dirty though, man.
Yeah, they did him dirty.
They did him dirty, man. Which it was just that made me mad. Actually, I was like, yo, they doing this dude dirty. This dude just saved everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, get out of here.
They would have preferred that. You know what I honestly believe? I believe that somebody on that flight was supposed to die when it went down, and they didn't, and that's why they threw him under the bus. That's just my conspiracy.
Well, yeah, that's feasible. That's a feasible conspiracy to me.
Brother.
Yeah, that's a feasible conspiracy though. Because why did he take so much flack
for saving lives?
Everybody's life. I never understood that. And even when it was unfolding in real life, I was like, yo, what is going on right now? Is this dude really catching flack for
FAA regulations?
Life?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But anyway, all right. So flight moves
just
on.
The man trying to find any reason to keep us down.
Exactly.
Keep us down. Period.
Exactly.
Down.
You know what, Ralph? You know what? There you go. Talk about it, Ralph. Preach.
Yeah.
They're right. Any reason you say think about it. If that plane in the beginning when it crashed into the middle of the city, right? They would be like, "Oh my God, it's such a terrible tragedy." Blah, blah, blah. That would have been the end of it. But wait, everybody lived? Oh no! You like wait a minute, you save people? Oh hell, no!
So now they want to try to focus on what he may or may not have done wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, and being that the plane was going to crash, like it was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The plane was going to crash. It was going down.
Yeah.
So he chose to preserve life instead of being a pussy and saying, "Oh well, passengers, guess what? It's our time to die."
All right.
Yeah.
Or not say nothing and everybody just die.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the problem. They're persecuting him for
using the training he was given.
Yeah.
Listen, and not only that, Ralph, for using the training he's a trained pilot. How many years of flight flight hours does he have? He's a trained pilot.
Yeah.
And as a pilot, you have to renew your pilot's license. It's not like a driver's license where you get it once and you just keep going.
Yeah.
So
you have to keep
he's
going.
Up on the most. He's up on.
You got to be up
on the latest techniques.
Techniques, everything, equipment that changes, technology that changes.
Yep, technology, everything. He landed that plane. He landed that plane in the Hudson. Didn't destroy anything else. Didn't kill anybody else, and everybody on the plane.
They worrying about the plane. They worrying about the plane being, and what, like I said, they focusing on what he did or may not have done wrong. As they trying to focus on. It was just really, it was so American. It really was.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so American.
Blame the hero for doing the right thing.
Yeah,
don't blame the guy that messed up. Blame the hero.
Mm-hmm. I just don't. When it was on, forget about the movie. When it happened, when it actually happened, and I saw it all unfolded, and I'm reading things, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, so. I mean, please, man. That's just something else. But anyway, okay. So y'all got flight. Flight moves on. We down to the last few. I believe Denzel has come back. I'm looking at it now. I think he's taking the lead by now.
The setup work.
And then the Equalizer. Yeah, the Equalizer. We're up to Equalizer. is against Cloud Atlas, your favorite film, Ralph.
Well, it's actually my favorite film, but
no, I know Ralph always has expressed in the past that he didn't like this film. That's why
I think it sucks. I think it sucks.
I was being sarcastic when I said your favorite film, Ralph.
I think it sucks. 3 hours of really. That's what I really said. 3 hours of really. The Wachowski brothers. This is what you gave me. You gave me all this great movie in The Matrix, except the third one. I love Bound, but you giving me this crap? Come on. And at the time, you had just produced V versus Vendetta, so you had like a comeback after Matrix Revolutions. Come back and you give me and Ninja Assassin, and you give me this? Nah, man. Nah. That life change that you had, it should. I don't know. I don't want to sound insensitive when I say that, but did that diminish your perspective, or I don't want to sound insensitive, but someone. I mean, the two brothers going
insensitive
through
thoughts
that.
of Ralph Terry does not reflect the thoughts of Real Talk Radio, or
No, they don't. But it's just
radio.
I'm saying this because since that you two have changed yourselves. The movies the few films that you produce have just not. It's like something's missing. I don't know what it is, but something is missing.
I can tell you what it is. They haven't. They didn't steal it. They didn't steal it from anybody. That's what's missing. They didn't take somebody else's material and make something. That's what's missing.
Oh, maybe. Oh, okay. Okay.
Maybe they need to go back to stealing stuff.
Yeah. Well, not really a reason to finish.
Anyway, the Equalizer wins anyway because
Equalizer won, yeah, over Cloud Atlas, and then you have Two Guns versus Inferno. I mean, it's really no point in forgetting because he's no way he can win now. He's Denzel has taken the lead and never to be seen again at this point. But Two Guns.
Wait, before we move on, big up to Dana for being the new Equalizer. Oh yeah! Can't wait to see her come on television as new Equalizer.
When does that start? Doesn't that start soon?
I think it starts after the Super Bowl. I will be glued. Dana, I'm sorry.
I'm telling
Latifah
you.
as an Equalizer.
No. You said it right. Call my wife by her first name. You just stop it. Call my wife by her first name. You call her Dana. That's Miss Dana.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Sam. Who's your wife? Is it Rosario? Is it Paula?
No. Rosario is Wes's wife.
Rosario. Don't get anthrax sent to you. All right. I'm gonna be sitting there like this, licking the envelope. Don't get no anthrax sent to you, Ralph. Don't get twisted. Rosario is wild white.
Oh man, you said don't get anthrax sent to your house.
I'm just saying.
Don't make me drop off a
package. I'm gonna put a little story on this. Back in the day when me and Wes used to make beats and we used to rhyme and all of that stuff, and Wes used to come down to our studio, a guy that used to work for Flavor Unit, his name is Aaron, a light-skinned pretty boy that hated on all of us. We had good material, and for whatever reason, he chose not to flow with us for whatever reason. And you could see the hate in his eyes. He didn't even want to be there. He was trying to get out of there so fast. But we kept hitting him over the heads. Between the three groups that was there, we was just hitting over the head with joints. But my whole purpose of being there with Aaron was just so I can be a part of Flavor Unit, just so I could get next to Latifah. I didn't care that she was into girls. It didn't matter to me.
6 degrees
my whole thing was like, I gotta. Exactly. I was like, yo, this is my end. I can get next to Latifah. What?
Oh my god.
Yeah. 6 degrees of Queen Latifah.
Degrees of Kevin Bacon just to get to Latifah.
Right. Just to get to Latifah, man. Yeah, I feel you.
Listen,
I feel you on that one.
Man.
Yo, that's. I mean, hey,
I had a damn. Listen, I had a damn agenda.
Rosario's the only future ex-wife. I have a few of them out there. She's my only future ex-wife that I ran into her at a film festival, but that I don't consider that meeting her. That was like a hey, how you doing? I'm a fan. Hey, how you doing? Keep it moving. You know, hey, she was like, it was like on a red carpet or something.
If you only
I could never meet Dana Owens in real life. Because first I'm a pass out,
but
I'm a fall out.
Yeah, I met Maya. I was blessed enough to meet Maya several times. Actually, me and my brother had her when my brother was doing the Heaven Hollywood experience. He had her on his show, which I was producing at the time, and so Maya actually, I ran into her, spoke to her a few times. So, and I got me a personal shout out from her too. So, she just acknowledged what it is.
Yeah, I love me some Latifah, boy.
But anyhow,
Dana is so fun. I love her smile, man. Her smile is just everything, and she's funny.
I don't know why I just said that because you said I love her smile. So I just that. Yeah, I was just watching Big Up to DJ Cassidy.
That's all I got to say.
DJ Cassidy he does the Pass the Mic series, and he did a Pass the Mic series with the R&B cats of like the 90s, right? So like late 80s and 90s, and she was in there. Shanice, yeah. Shanice was so she got a chance to do her put that in there. So that was cool.
The song that's like one of the most hated songs of all time. I Like Your Smile. Listen,
why is that hated?
I love that song.
Why is that a hated song?
It was good the first 1,000 times that I heard it, but after that one, it was like, come on, man. Every other 10 minutes is I love your smile. I love your smile. Then it was stop it. Shanice.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. But DJ Cassidy does, for everyone who may or may not know, he does a Pass the Mic series, and he's been doing it with different. He's done one with like the old school cats from like the 70s. He's done one with the hip hoppers, all the hip hoppers from like the 80s and 90s, or the 80s, and pretty much. And
this pandemic has been turning out some of the best content.
I know, it really is. And he's been doing also, and he did it with the 90s R&B groups. So he had like SWV. It was all singers, right? Not just the groups. But SWV was on there. There was a lot of them. So it was really cool. Shanice ended up being one of them. And there's a bunch. And he just did another one. The one he just did had like Sheila E. He had Sheila E. Morris Day. There's a couple others. It's like a new one he just put out. Oh, Shaka Khan. Yeah, because it was like a funk. It was dedicated to like funk and stuff like that, or something like that. Shaka Khan was on there. Yeah, I think he had Charlie Wilson on there. I know he had my man from Word Up. My man.
Cameo, the man from what's Robert what's his face? Robert Black, yeah.
Yeah. They had Word Up, Cameo on there. A couple other people I'm waiting to see. Oh, Sherelle. Yeah. Sherelle. Oh, yo, bro. Woo! Yo, y'all need to watch that. Sherelle is still looking good and fine. That beautiful chocolate skin of hers that she has going on. And I was like, yo, Sherelle is looking great. And Shaka Khan still looks good.
Shaka Khan still get it?
She can still get it, son. Shaka Khan can still get it, bro. Because ain't nobody love her better. So, yeah, that's one of my favorite songs from Shaka Khan. That Ain't Nobody. That song, if you just play that song in some headphones, and you will know why it's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, headphones, bro. You bugging. Listen.
Play that.
Man, just
12
watch
inch
Breaking. That's it.
five.
Just
Listen,
watch
no,
Breaking.
five 12-inch Serwin Vegas, each with their own individual amps, 500-watt Serwin Vega bass bottoms. With listen,
Yo,
my father
you
used to
play that song,
bang that
man.
song. Like, listen, this whole apartment used to shake, used to vibrate when that bass line came in. Do 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 do
Yep.
do 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 do
Yeah.
do do do
But
do do
it's not
do
even
do.
just it's everything in that song. You got things that was there's like a guitar part that the dude I can imagine that dude standing in the studio because he did one thing in the whole song. That's all he did. And I was like, yo, I didn't hear it no more. That was the only time he did. I was like, yo, I said, you know what happened? That got good to him. He was playing along with the band. He said, nah, son. He said, and just threw that in there. They said, yo, we gonna keep that. We gonna keep that. They was like, that wasn't supposed to be in there, but we gonna keep it. That's one of the baddest songs ever, man. That song is so bad.
There was no
not
room
only
for him.
that,
There
not
was
only
no
all the
room for him to do.
instruments, Shaka Khan is an instrument. Her voice
Yes,
is just the control that woman has over her voice. You would never understand it unless you're a singer or you've been around
Her and
singers.
Patti LaBelle.
You never
Her and Patti
understand
LaBelle
the
have the
control.
same type of control
No, they
over
have the
their
same
voices.
type of control. But the thing is this: when here's the difference between her and Patty, in my opinion. The one thing that I like her over Patty is if you get now Patty LaBelle would have killed that song as well, but Patty doesn't have a Patty starts here. You know what I'm saying? She don't really come up like the way Shaka came into that first verse. She blended in with the music. It was like, and you're like, yo, but then, and she built her way up to that boom. You know what I'm saying?
What she did was she did what Biggie does.
Yeah.
She gets inside of the nicks and crannies
side of it. Exactly.
And just flows. And just flows.
with
She's
it
just
and
flowing.
rides the beat. So, Patty would have still killed the song, but Patty would have came in. She wouldn't have came in screaming, but she would have came in a little bit more energy level.
A little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, a little bit more aggressive, with more energy level. And that's the difference. And I think that song called for what she did. You know what I'm saying? That called for the way Shaka did it was perfect. It was perfect. And she looked like
the tone that whole thing, not to stretch it out, but that whole thing with how she with her vocal arrangement. I wait for nighttime to come to bring you to me. I mean, it just because it's a build up to Ain't Nobody. It's a build up to that. So it's like when she's telling a story, it's like it's the moment of anticipation and the build up, and then then you finally meet blah 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 whatever, and then you ain't gonna never have nobody like me. Ain't nobody.
Yeah, I'm saying so. I think Joseph is signing off. He says, "Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah,
happy Hanukkah, happy holidays, Joe."
Jewish actors. He's still talking about the Jewish actors. Now let's see what he says here. Every Jewish actor, Jewish actress, Jewish director, Jewish man, Jewish woman, Jewish boy, Jewish girl. Happy Hanukkah to everybody. Happy Hanukkah to, I don't know if you're Jewish, Tanner. I know you're bringing up a lot of Jewish people. So if you are, happy Hanukkah, sir. And happy holidays to everybody. We're going to do a show next Monday because we're going to set up. That's the show right before Wonder Woman comes on.
You know, see. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm going to, since I found out I got HBO Max at HBO, I guess I'll be seeing it. But if I got the option where I can go see in the movie theater, I got a movie theater. I would go see it, and I would go into. Well, I went to go see Tenet. I'd go see Wonder Woman.
Yeah. No, exactly. All right, so, but that's pretty much that. I definitely want to thank everybody for the chat room. You guys always make the experience better by being involved. And being engaged. I am very I see y'all in there laughing. I don't know if y'all in there laughing at me trying to sing or something, but whatever the case may be. Yeah, that's what happens, man. Shaka get a hold of you. You start.
Oh, wait a minute. No nonsense. Are we going to watch? Am I going to personally watch the Wendy Williams movie? No.
Nope.
Oh,
I don't give a damn about. I don't give a damn about Manly Williams.
Well, two reasons why. First, because no. Second, because it's a Lifetime movie. I can't stand Lifetime movies.
I used to love I loved Lifetime movies until they started doing these unofficial biopics.
These biopics that are just unofficial. Well, hers isn't unofficial. She sanctioned it, but Lifetime lost me when they did Aaliyah. That was garbage. The
Tony,
the Whitney Houston one was trash. Yeah, they did a Tony Braxton one too, right? Trash.
I'm gonna tell you exactly why I'm not gonna watch it, and I ain't afraid to say this. I think Wendy Williams is one of the biggest hypocrites in media today. Right? She is so quick to jump on someone else, telling them what so and so should do, and all in their business. But when the role was reversed to her, particularly with her marriage, she's like, "Well, I still got the ring, even though your man was slobbing down another chick, and she's living right down the street from you. The chick was driving by your house in the car that you probably bought, and you didn't do nothing. You didn't do nothing. You're so quick to jump down other people's throats about what they should do. You want to get all into their business, and even now with the video I just saw the other day, when you're clearly doing your show and either you're drunk or you're high, and then you want to say sometimes as you're sipping your tea. Well, sometimes we do our very best, and the show isn't the greatest, but we do it for the love of y'all. That ain't saying you come to work doing it drunk or high. Because that was let me tell you something. If Porsche Coleman or Nene Leakes did the Real Housewives and you clearly said they were drunk or high, they'd be your hot topic the next day. But you can't make yourself the hot topic because you're the hot topic.
Exactly. That's what you said about being a hypocrite. I agree with you there. It's like, are you gonna do a biopic on yourself, but you're not gonna tell everything? If you was gonna do the biopic on yourself and you was gonna tell everything, you know what I'm saying? Give all the tea and all that stuff that you spilling every damn day on other people. If you're gonna put yourself under the spotlight, under the microscope, and do that, I would give you some respect.
But she's not.
She's not.
Listen. I'm not gonna watch it, but I can guarantee you, she's not gonna have nothing in there about the fight that she started on Hot 97 between her and Angie Martinez. That's not coming up there. She's not going to put anything in there about how Puffy threatened the Hot 97 management that he was going to take all the Bad Boys music off of Hot 97. They don't do something about Wendy Williams because she was going around saying that Puffy was secretly gay. They're not going to put that on there. And more importantly, if I got her first book, Wendy Williams says that in her first book that she messed around with a married man. She ain't never said who that person was. Never. But you be talking about other people who ain't fucking around with and who did this.
Like she was doing with
Isn't Wendy Williams a trans? Isn't Wendy Williams a trans?
No, there's no proof of that.
No.
There's no proof of that.
There's no proof of that one, so I can't. Yeah. So I have to say no.
No,
but hell, I saw an episode.
I don't know why, but I wasn't trying to be funny. I actually thought she was.
No, there was an episode that I saw not long ago. If Shawn Wayans was sitting next to her, she would have jumped on him live on national television. She was just like, "Here, just take just take the panties, kind sir. How you doing?
How you doing? Yeah, I know what you mean, but yeah, no, there's no proof for that. But yeah, so just we gave you the long answer, no nonsense, but the short answer is nah, pass, hard pass. I'm not really.
I get the Cliff Notes. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't need the Cliff Notes because I grew up with Wendy Williams on Hot 97, and she, like I said, she's not going to tell why she got fired and why she was in Philadelphia for a couple of years because she was booted out of New York City, and what happened when she came back to WBLS in, I think that was 2002, because when she took over for Miss Jones, on Hot 90s on BLS? No.
Yeah. Well, Wendy,
None of that
a
stuff
lot
is
of
gonna
times,
come
there's a
up.
lot of things through
Nothing.
the years. She had asked, wasn't Total about the what put her behind.
Yep.
It's possible. Yeah, I think that was it. Plus, remember,
Yo,
Wait, what happened with
she
Total?
might cover the thing about Method Man. You know, when Method Man called her up, I remember that. I was listening to that
Yep.
live when Method Man called her up while she was on the air, and
He
she
said,
put
"Don't be
it on the
bragging my
air.
name. Don't be
Yeah,
bragging my
he
name.
called her up.
I will." He said, "I will
He
come up
said,
there."
"Duck season." He said, "It's duck season.
Yep.
It's duck season, bitch. It ain't
Yeah.
safe no more." That's exactly what he said to her. She was like, "I know this is you, Method Man." And she, "I'm gonna put this on the air," and she put it on the air too, because he called her he called the private line or whatever. He called the station, but she put it on. She put it. He didn't call private. He called the station, and she put it on the air afterwards, after the fact, because she was talking about his wife, or cheating on his wife, and his wife having a terminal illness, blah blah blah, and that was like crossing the line.
Nobody's business.
He's like,
Nobody.
"Yo, what's my wife? Don't be talking about my wife with a terminal illness." You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't your business to be telling people. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they wasn't. He wasn't.
I tell you this,
Wendy Williams was the reason why Charlemagne was almost not. She's part of the reason why Charlemagne was he the reason. I think if he would have stuck under her, he'd probably be dead by now.
But he is
because they wanted to kill him.
But actually,
he's from the student.
He is the reason. Wendy is the reason why he's on Hot 97 now, because when Wendy Williams got off BLS to go do that talk show, Charlemagne was with her, right?
Yeah, I know.
Charlemagne told Wendy Williams that your man is cheating on you, and she didn't want to hear it.
Yeah,
she didn't want to hear it.
Yeah. He was. That's why he is the way he is. He's taking her blueprint and just doing it a little bit differently. He's figured out how to navigate this generation better than she has. She's just relying on her base and the people that love it. But Charlemagne has figured out how to manipulate and
not only manipulate, but he's also grown. I think therapy really has helped him to get his mind
he's
right.
grown, but I mean, as far as I'm just saying, his blueprint has become. He took her blueprint, and I guess if you're trying to, I don't know all of those terms, Kev, but if he took the blueprint and put it in AutoCAD and switched it around or something, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I got it.
That's basically what he did with her. Now he has his own, right?
He took her business model and just flipped it, and he made it, and he grew. He grew and evolved the model. That's the word. He really took the model and he evolved it.
So that's what that is. But but anyway, now we're not watching.
How did we get here from Denzel Washington?
I don't know.
Oh, because
Denzel's already won, and she asked a question.
What were the rest of the movies for Denzel?
The rest of the movies was Two Guns, the Magnificent Seven, and Fences. Those are the last three movies.
Oh yeah, he won.
One of them he would have lost. One of them he would have lost because that was against
A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
That one.
And that's the one he probably would have won. I mean, he would have lost, but Tom would have won. Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood and Greyhounds. And then you got Fences, Magnificent Seven, Two Guns. Yeah. But by this time, Denzel had taken a pretty big lead because Tom had only won like two more films in this whole thing. So he had only added like 2 or 3 films to his total already. You know what I'm saying? He needed to keep up in order to win because he was ahead by 4 films. So he needed to keep up and win about at least 4 more films to try to stay in the running. But the bottom line is, obviously, Tom Hanks had a better earlier career than Denzel Washington. And arguably a better earlier career than Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington really picked it up mid to late of his career.
And I think the other thing too is that Denzel might have picked up a wider audience with the films that he was making later on, specifically with Training Day, Equalizer. Those action films and stuff like that are going to pick up a more wider audience.
He did pick up more audience. He wasn't just black people. You know, he picked up a wider audience when he started doing other films. Tom has a dedicated fan base though. Because you go to Tom Hanks film, you're gonna see older people in there.
Yeah, the seniors are gonna come out for Tom Hanks every time.
Every time you're gonna see the seniors, you're gonna see people in the late 60s, 70s, even going to the film and watching Tom Hanks films. They're gonna always support him. You know what I mean? So yeah, but that's what it is. It was a good battle. These two are two juggernauts. So I guess now the next thing we'll have to do with them is I guess Denzel will have to go against Meryl now, because we said Meryl Streep would get the winner of this battle. But,
is she gonna lose? Is she really gonna lose?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I have to see.
I think this is a tougher battle for Meryl.
I know. The only thing I can say is Meryl Streep is pretty as fuck. I was just watching. She has a new show that's on one of these streaming services, and I was just looking at one of the ads for her.
It's on HBO Max.
Yeah,
I think.
I'm like, yo, this woman is still fucking fine. Like,
yeah, she is.
My
She's
God.
a very, very pretty woman. You know what? I was just binging. 'Cause I know the girl Kaylee Coop. What's her name from The Big Bang Theory?
Oh, Kelly Coco.
Oh.
Kelly Coco or whatever her name is. She's got The Flight Attendant. That's also on HBO Max.
Ooh, boy, you talk about a good show.
Yeah. I was just watching. I had to go back because I never saw the last season of Big Bang Theory, and I did watch. I just actually watched the last season of Big Bang Theory, and that last episode was pretty. That was pretty.
You know what? Up until you said that, I didn't realize that was her from Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah, and I love her. The Big Bang Theory, man. Like that show was so good, and it's so good to see. I mean, that's classic. The nerd gets the girl. The nerd gets the girl thing. He got her way before Urkel. Huh?
Yeah. The last year of Big Bang was just kind of flat.
It was like, yeah. But that last episode was pretty sad, man.
Yeah.
But, I mean, not sad. It was happy, but it made you. It was like, oh man, this show is over. You felt bad the show was over.
Yeah. Like I needed like 5 more episodes.
Yeah, I was like, come on, y'all. But I love it because the show got a lot of fanfare in the last season too, though, and a lot of people was cameoing in it as well. Yeah. They were like, you know how that gets now when it's a show that's very popular and it's about to go off. Everybody gets in it.
Yeah, everybody wants to be in it.
That's what happened. With
was on it. I mean,
Mark Hamill jumped in it. William Shatner.
Yeah. The funny thing, the whole Skywalker family was on that show.
Yes.
Yep. All 3 of them were on that show.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. There was an episode of Big Bang Theory where Sheldon wanted to start his own Comic-Con. So he reached out to James Earl Jones. So James Earl Jones comes on the show, and so he meets Sheldon. He says, "So I guess you like Star Wars?" And Sheldon's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, let me tell you something. I like Star Wars too." So he keeps Sheldon for a whole day. They go around doing all kinds of crazy. They go get a sauna. They go to a baseball game. But the end of the episode is that they go and they because James Earl Jones wants to start pulling practical jokes. So he pulls a joke where he runs up to this house and he rings the doorbell and he runs. So Sheldon's like, "Well, whose house is it?" He says, "Carrie Fisher's." So Carrie Fisher comes out with a shotgun. And she said, "This is not funny anymore, James."
Yo, this is why I love that show, because people get on that show and they just lose it. They get so silly and get so crazy. They can go crazy on the show. No nonsense says, "Can you please answer my question before you leave? I promise is the last one." So where is it? Where's the question? Hit me with it. Where is it? Or did you put it up there already?
Which Denzel Washington movies and Tom Hanks movies are your favorites?
Oh, which Denzel Washington movies and Tom Hanks movies are y'all favorites? I said real quick, I'm just gonna pick out of this list because I don't remember the first list. I'm gonna pick out of this list, and I'm gonna pick 3, and that would be Man on Fire, that would be Deja Vu, and that would be Book of Eli. Those are my 3 favorites from this list, I think, and maybe Training Day 4. John Q. God damn it, there's a lot of them. So, but those that's my 4. I just made it the top 4. So,
Well, all right. Well, mine are in no particular order. I'm assuming that she meant from each category. So I'm just going to say mine are Ricochet, Man on Fire,
yeah,
and what's the other one by Denzel? Ricochet, Man on Fire. Oh, and Crimson Tide. Those are my 3 favorite. And then by Tom Hanks, all 3 of the Da Vinci Code films, and You Got Mail.
My favorite Tom Hanks film is Forrest Gump, Big, and Forrest Gump, Big. Oh man, I don't know. I actually
called Wanda.
Splash. Those are my favorite.
Yep, Splash.
Those are my favorite Tom Hanks films. Splash used to come on HBO like religiously. It came on so many times. I used to watch that film every day because we grew up in a house with everything on cable. So between HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, and the Movie Channel, Splash was on every day. Splash was on every day. So
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Wes. I got to add one more. My other Tom Hanks film is The Money Pit.
Oh, The Money Pit.
Oh yeah,
Money Pit was great. Yeah, so those are my favorites. Yeah. So there you have.
Well, I posted mine on the chat room, but my favorite Denzel Washington movies.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's what Jimmy A said. Tom Hanks, Green Mile, Apollo 13, Splash. That's what he said there.
Yeah.
Ralph, you put yours up. Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump, Philadelphia, and Apollo 13. I really did like Philadelphia too. There's so many films on this list. No nonsense. There's so many films on this list that we really did like. These 2 are true giants in this business. They're all and they never half step it either. They don't half ass it. They bring it all in their films. That's why they're both giants. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, no nonsense. If you want to see some good material, go look up the actors roundtables and look at the 2 different actors roundtables. All of them are really good, but specifically there's one with Tom Hanks. It's Tom Hanks, Jamie Foxx, Robert De Niro. I can't. All the other people are slipping my mind. Borat, the guy that plays Borat.
That one, the actors round tables are usually that's put on by what Hollywood Reporter or something like that.
The Hollywood Reporter. Yeah.
So everyone in the chat room, if you want to just see some good extra material, like what Kev was saying, the Hollywood Reporter has something on YouTube called the Actor Roundtables, and it's usually done around Oscar time. They usually do that around that time, or that's usually when they air them, or put them out on the net. But there's a lot of.
If you do a search for them, you can find them now.
Oh yeah. It's a lot. Just go and look for it, and there's a lot of interesting ones. And then there's another one that's done by, I forgot which company does it, but there's one called Actors on Actors.
On Actors, those are really good too.
It's just a one-on-one between 2 actors, and they're both saying basically which film I liked by you the best. Like they're like, oh, I loved you in so and so because of XYZ and whatever. Those are great things to watch. So if you want to. So last thing I'm gonna say to y'all, like we said before with the films we mentioned earlier, 10 to Midnight. Check that out if you haven't seen it. Charles Bronson film. You should be able to find it. You might be able to find it on YouTube. Who knows? 10 to Midnight was a good film. And I want y'all to please check out A Guide for the Married Man. That film is hilarious. That's what I have to say. It is more of a guy film because it's called The Guide for a Married Man, but it's just funny. It's silly funny, but at the same time, if that was remade into today's time, it would probably be funny. They'd have to make a few changes, but it'd be funny. But Gene Kelly, of all people, Gene Kelly, the dancer and the actor and everything he does, he directed the film. And because he is Gene Kelly, he called in a bunch of favors and got cameos from some of the biggest stars from back then. So just imagine, somebody who's a big star now does a film and directs a film and just calls in favors, and all you see is cameos from the biggest actors of today, or biggest movie stars of today. Like Lucille Ball was in the film, like as a really small role in the film, and she only did it because Gene Kelly, that was her boy. They was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Is there any actor today that you think could do something like that? That could just say, "Hey, listen, I'm doing this movie."
Really, it depends. It's got to be somebody. I don't know if there's anyone in Hollywood right now that has that type of clout with everybody. Like everybody kind of gets along with The Rock. He might be one that can call in some favors. A lot of people kind of get along with him. It'd have to be someone like these guys. It'd have to be someone like Denzel or Tom Hanks. Everybody, who's gonna turn Denzel down? You know what I'm saying? Denzel was like, "Yo, I'm doing this film. I'm gonna call in some favors, whatever." You know what I'm saying? It'd have to be somebody rooted in the business that's got so much clout that they do it. But yeah, so that's cool. That's it, man. That's the show. Thanks everybody for coming through, man. We appreciate all of your interaction in the chat room. And if anybody, you guys were very active and interactive, and I thank you. If I missed any of your comments, we apologize. Please come back and keep commenting. And, every now and then I will flash a comment on even if we don't actually repeat your comment. I don't know if you notice or not, but we're actually flashing the comments on the screen as we're talking about things, even if we don't repeat the comment. So there you go. That's it. Next week we'll come back with some more stuff. We're going to talk mostly Wonder Woman stuff and things like that next week. And we'll go from there. So if nothing else, anybody got to say, even if they do, it doesn't matter. I'm cutting off the show. Y'all have a good night. Thank you to everybody who came out. Peace.